Welcome to another episode of Good Earners Reviewing the Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. This podcast is almost over. From now on, every pod is a gift. Spike, Rich. How y'all doing, man?
Good, brother. How you feeling, man?
Good. Hey, I'm feeling good,
Hey,
man.
Hey, man, I just want to give you a shout out. I know we didn't have an episode last week, but I did listen to the 3 minutes. Hey, you a silly dude. I don't know if y'all heard Mo's Jersey impression, the whole nine, but if you haven't, I know It's 3 minutes. Go back and listen to it, man. Mo a funny dude. He even tied the show into it, the whole nine.
Yeah. I knew it was a terrible impression, but I just can't be basic. It's always got to be something extra to it. I'm extra, but yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, man, again, thank y'all for checking out that announcement and everything. And we're back in this thing and glad to be here, glad to be safe and sound. And we in this thing. So it's good to be here with my capos. We're about to do this, but before we get into the synopsis of this episode, we got quite a bit of feedback here. So y'all bear with us for a moment. One of the funniest segments of the show.
Yeah, if it ain't for you when you want to go to the show, just skip ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, there's always that option.
There's always
you ain't got to turn it off. Yeah, you ain't got to turn it off, man. Just skip ahead.
Yeah.
Mo will probably meet y'all there. He probably skip ahead a little bit. At some point, he'll get tired of it.
Season 5 callback. We got an email. I ain't heard from him in a while. From Anthony Amaker.
Probably been scared. Probably was nervous.
Right.
You ain't about to dog me on
read it or not.
Nah, he left an Apple review and everything. And he says in the subject line, "Good earner meetup?" A lot of question marks and exclamations. Oh, you good earners took it too far. The in-person meetup in the works for the Good Earners crew? Joking. Mm-hmm. Don't mess up the vibes. Ain't nobody here for y'all bonding and growth, bro. He said, keep this fire coming and y'all better not be on no 5 heartbeats vibes and start beefing. Oh, man.
5 Heartbeats is one of my favorite movies, too.
Right,
man. That
exactly.
Funny.
He says, on my second re-listen of the pod and like my 8th rewatch of the show, he says, like Pookie from New Jack, parentheses, the pod, it be calling me. It's calling me. Great content, bruh. Keep the vibes going and start a next series /show. Major networks, I think he said this before, /HBO. Let's cut a check. DMX voice. Count that money.
Hey, man. Go ahead. My bad.
Very animated. Lastly, number 1, Bobby is the GOAT, parentheses. Tony B was weird. Why is he around? And 2, Ro is the type of friend to bring the shovel to get rid of the body, not ask questions, then let you know you wildin'. She gives Black Mama vibes.
That's true. Man, all of this
I said that season 1. I remember I said that Spike was like, all right, Mo, don't. I was like, dude, don't you ride? You kind of like, but anyway.
Like she had a little bit of.
She had a little bit of like, yeah, a little bit of. It's very familiar. But what do y'all think about the email? What do y'all want to say to our man Anthony?
Shout out to Anthony, man. Put that in the that's in the email Hall of Fame right there.
Okay.
The references, the comedy.
You get the show.
We're here for y'all bonding. Like you get the show. You understand who we are. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Show. Yeah, I love people to get this show and get our personalities. We appreciate it. Yeah, big check coming soon.
He in there with Chris Falone.
Holla at HBO, yeah.
He up there. He in there with Chris Falone, Bricks VS God.
Yeah,
I'm Mixed Queen.
No, I'm Mixed Queen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah, I got to catch myself. I'll try to be better, y'all. But thanks, Anthony, man. I think he nailed it, hit it on the nose with all of the references. Really, and yeah.
My fault, Anthony, man. Definitely going to be more shows. Trust me. This is not stopping at Sopranos. There's definitely going to be more shows.
Yeah, just when they thought we were out, we pull them back in.
And y'all can maybe sway the room. Like we almost have decided, but if we get a lot of hey, y'all should do this next, we may consider it. But I think we've come to a decision on what we're going to do next.
Oh, absolutely. Like I talked to Rich, and so he knows what I feel about a certain said show, but it's not off the table. Like it's. I've come far from the flat out no to like, okay, there's a possibility there. So who knows?
That's gonna be like my life's work. That's gonna be like Sistine Chapel type shit. Like,
opus.
That's why I said you
that's
may
my
not
magnum
be.
opus. Like that's gonna be like that's
your baby boy.
I might do that. Like that, I might be one of the first people. I don't know if anybody else does this, but review the same show every year. And just say fuck it. Just say fuck it.
Yeah, it's a couple shows I could do. It's 2 shows I know. 3 shows I know I could do that too.
Yeah, I think I could definitely do this all over again. Like, I could do this all over and focus on totally different characters.
After a break,
after a break, I could do this like 5 years down the road. Like, okay, I'm focusing on Chris this season or this time around. But shouts out to Anthony. Our next, I keep forgetting this. I'm sorry if Spotify listeners, I haven't got privy to the comments on Spotify, so if I haven't read them, my apologies. But I happened to see this one, and it's from our season 4, episode 4, I believe, The Wait. Anton checks. He says, LOL, we get it. You don't approve of your woman being around other men. I guess he's just talking about Johnny Sag, or I don't know. Maybe
he's probably talking about one of us. I don't know.
I don't even remember.
Something we said, probably.
Remember when is the lowest form of conversation. But thank you, Anton. We appreciate that Spotify comment, man. Being an innovator here. Our next
innovator.
Hey man. Credit where credit is due.
That's why I started.
A gentleman and a scholar. Our next comment comes from Joe Nelson. I think he's starting to get a little popular here. He responded to our season 6, episode 2, Join the Club. He says on YouTube, when you talk of the end of a Good Earners podcast, the fans do not despair. We know the pinnacle is here. We will finally know what is up with the April crew. We will meet Vito under the bat, and we will get to see third base. We will see the Yankees plus it's bat night. An emoji. It's funny because I forgot. Remember I kept saying that phrase? I forgot I kept saying that. Remember I said, hey, what's up with the April crew? This is before the Vito reveal. I said that so many times when Richie was here, then Richie was gone, and Ralphie was here. What he's referring to, I kept saying, man, what's up with the April crew? So shouts out to Joe Nelson for the deep cut. You know what I mean?
That is a deep cut. You've been saying that for a while. Yeah, and the Yankees third base bat references, if you ain't seen the show, you'll find out.
Jeez.
Like I've been stabbed in the heart. Man, our guy. I'm so glad he responded. Let me make sure I read the right one. Okay, so this is I believe this is our Nigerian brother. Cause remember we was like, man, what happened to him? So Ike is, that's what we go by for short. He left an email. He says, hey guys, yes, I am Nigerian, IGBO to be exact. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. Or if it's unless it's pronounced Igbo. I'm not familiar. My apologies, I'm ignorant. But he says that's one of the ethnic groups in Nigeria.
Yeah, says, West Africa.
Oh, okay. Fire. He says, I haven't emailed in a while, but I've been listening in. Over here in England, The Sopranos isn't well advertised. It should be. It's one of the greatest shows ever. The dream sequence era for me really sucked, I have to admit. However, seeing how people truly behave when Tony is MIA is very interesting. And man, I hate AJ's character so much. Top 5 in my characters hate chart of TV shows, parentheses. Would be interesting to hear about yours too. It might be a back of the Bing.
Definitely could put that on there.
He says, I'm always surprised you guys haven't all met in person. The chemistry is like a group chat of friends who go back like 10 years. It's credited to you guys for all being able to gel so naturally. Makes for some hilarious moments. Take care, Ike.
Appreciate that, Ike. It says Igbo is the largest ethnic group in southeastern Nigeria.
Oh man, y'all popping over there, bro. Yeah. All right.
So shout out to Ike, man. We appreciate you responding, man.
Yeah, I do.
And if we wrong about Google stats, then let us know that.
Yeah,
too.
That was Google said that too. I don't know.
Google said that.
Google said that, Ike. It wasn't me.
Yeah, we appreciate you. I'm glad that you're still tuning in. And sometimes you do got stuff going on, but thank you for taking a moment to hit us up.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, fam.
We got a DM from our guy, our East Coast Connect, our Italian brother, Chris Falone.
Oh,
my guy.
This guy.
There he is.
Chris was checking in. Chris was checking in when I was in New York / Jersey this past week, man.
Ah, that's tight.
Shout out to our guy, man.
Yeah, man. He says, bro, I know Spike and Rick's going to feel this one. Only TV character I ever hated more than AJ was JD McCoy on FNL.
Oh,
JD Never wanted McCoy. To hurt a 15-year-old so bad in my life. That's Friday Night Lights.
That's the quarterback that came in. That's the quarterback that came in season 3. The freshman phenom. Yeah. Daddy had all the money.
Yeah, dad was there and shit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, JD McCoy is a great one. That's a great one.
Hey, JD McCoy might be up there with Joffrey. He right there. That's Joffrey territory.
Shout outs. Hey, shout out to Chris
Falone. He tapped in. He's tapped in.
I hate him. I hate JD so much that I don't even think about him when I think of that show. Even though season 3, I'll put season 3 of not Game of Thrones. I put season 3 of Friday Night Lights against any TV season. All right, season 3 is phenomenal. The whole series is phenomenal, but season 3 is one of my favorites.
I had to look him up. Yeah, you're right, man. That's a good fucking pool.
That's a great one. Chris Falone. Shout out to you, man.
Shout out to Chris Falone, man.
That's gonna make me start watching Friday Night Lights again.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We got to revisit that maybe we got to revisit in the chat.
That's dead.
Our next one comes from again, our guy Joe Nelson, season 6, episode 3, Mayhem from YouTube. So he put I don't know if he's white or black.
What's his name?
His name's Joe Nelson.
Joe Nelson?
Yeah. So he put the ninja emoji.
He black.
Ninjas on the throne is becoming a reality.
He's black. He's black.
But the ninja is white.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
He's a ninja white.
The ninja's, all right, I'm getting technical. All right.
I didn't know they had a black ninja.
You can switch colors on all emojis, but
hold on, the ninja really is white?
It's yellow. It's yellow. I mean, it's yellow. Fair enough. That's the default. That's default.
Simpsons colors.
Yeah, Simpsons colors. All right.
Might be mixed.
Might be mixed. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I know we stupid. But nonetheless,
I even hate when you say the word nigga. That's just me, I guess.
That's just me. But he hit us with the emoji. Ninjas on the throne is becoming a reality. All we need to do is send Mo a supercut of all the Game of Thrones nude scenes and let him record episodes from the toilet. What does this mean? Am I missing something?
That's our toilet. Well, you know, Mo, Freaky Mo.
Oh, the Freaky Mo.
Yeah, the Freaky Mo version. You know, that's what that is. And then the toilet, the Johnny Sack conversation.
What is the Johnny Sack?
The Seal Toots conversation. But they know they know about the Mo moments.
The fact that you think that I'm going to Game of Thrones to get one off is nuts. Game of Thrones, bro, dog. That's good, Joe. Good stuff, Joe. That's pretty good, bro.
No doubt. That was good.
That's a good one. They know the show. I love it.
Hey man, Joe, they might have put that one in the Hall of Fame too, man. Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe. I'm gonna try to move along a little bit. I know it's a little long-winded, y'all, but our guy Kiori, I believe, if I'm correct, he sent how to say his name. I don't know if I screenshotted it or not, but I think it's Kiori. But he says, "What up, Mo?"
Hold on, time out. He sent how to say his name.
I got to know. Here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
I'm not even gonna read that. I'm just gonna say
what I'm saying is sometimes people DM us, and so I have to certain things I got to screenshot and send myself. Like everything's not coming from the same places. It's all over Spotify, YouTube.
So he email
everywhere.
And DM.
It can come from anywhere. So that's why I'm that's why I'm like, I
so Kiora, what he's saying is put the pronunciation of your name in the email. Put it in the email.
Nah, don't. Hey, look.
Put it, every time you send an email in, just put the pronunciation.
Hey man, he gonna be key. He key for now. So black people, we give everybody names.
K-Dog.
Yeah, he K-Dog. So K-Dog, he says, "What up, Mo? I love today's episode of the pod, and thanks for the shout out. By the way, I'm Japanese American, because remember I was, I didn't know the full ethnicity, and I didn't want to get it wrong." He says, "And I appreciate that you didn't treat my ethnicity as a guessing game, since that's a unique issue that we Asian Americans have to deal with. Example, white people always ask us, where are we from? where we from? Like we weren't born in the U.S. already.
That's crazy.
if y'all were one of them,
that's fucked up, man.
Because I've seen that, like, no, but like, where are you from? Like after you say, oh, I'm from Jersey, like, nah, but where are you from? Like, you know what they're saying. Yeah, it is. That's definitely crazy. But he says, if y'all were one of the mobsters, you would have just read my comment and said what Christopher said in season 6, episode 1. Chinks did this. See, our man K Dog, he said it. He said that. See that he gets that. Hey, you my nigga.
Hey man, hey listen.
Like I gotta say that because when you can joke on your own race, come on, bro.
That nigga Hesh was so mad at that nigga Chris, man. Hey, Chris said that shit so serious.
He did. What? Like
he did say the what?
Oh, here. Okay, I got it. Here's the next one. So
this is a super valid question, though.
It is, though. Yeah. So here I did. Okay, so I did send it to ourselves. So real quick. So Kiori, yes, Kiori Okapi. So yeah, Ki. So this is where the pronunciation came in. But he says, I respect and appreciate, and I'm sorry, but I've been too lazy to correct y'all a while back. But my name is actually pronounced Kiori. So I know I've been rocking with you guys for over a season, but I just never got around to letting y'all know. So yeah, Kiori, got you.
Cool. No doubt, man. Appreciate you, fam.
We got another from Chris Falone. He says, bro, I love the dinner scene between Vito and Phil. It just shows the difference between New York and New Jersey. You know, Phil don't give a fuck about Tony, let alone Carm, but he's got so much respect for this thing that he tells Vito to follow the rules. That's literally the whole point of organized crime. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yep.
That's why we love Phil.
Absolutely.
This thing of ours.
Yeah, that's why we love the guy. We got a couple of comments from Robert the Hernandez, one of the popular listeners. First, he says, this is from season 6, episode 3, Mayhem. He says, line of the podcast. Mo saying Finn would have bottomed out when Vito was stroking his arm if Meadow hadn't shown up.
Jesus.
He bottles from the top.
Right. And then his other comment was, another hilarious thing about the scene where Bobby shows up at Seal's house is when he's getting taken out of the stretcher. On the stretcher, Bobby parked in front of the ambulance. The med tech even had to tell him to move his car.
Move your car.
I also love when Tony asked the monks if he really looked that much like Finnerty, and the monks said, to a certain extent, all Caucasians look alike. LOL. Yeah, I told you there's just a funny line coming from them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. Every race say that about every race.
And that's just true. That's true.
Never mind. I ain't even about to say the wild shit I was about to say.
Man.
I thought it, Rich, but I ain't.
So y'all professionals. Y'all professionals.
I know exactly what Spike thinking right now, too.
Man.
That's Rich.
Boy, right. One more, not one more, but another comment that came from the episode of Mayhem, our previous episode. Joe Nelson has said, it also strikes me that if Mo, aka Professor Funky Booty, is bringing us, he goes back to the emoji again, the Ninja on the Throne episode from an actual throne, it would be a great gimmick in meta commentary on how Game of Thrones sucks. You can't retire from this thing, Mo. What are you? A hockey player?
White. He might be white.
He's got to be, because this is definitely white boy humor. put a lot of emphasis on being the toilet. It's a lot of emphasis there, brother. But I get it. It's all good.
I call that nigga Funky Booty, man. What?
I don't even like. I don't even know the reference at this point.
Shit, man.
We'll
get an email next week. He gonna explain it for you.
Yeah. We got a comment from our last episode. Well, the Back of the Bing episode, actually. James Cooper.
Hey,
yes.
I feel like 3 or 4 out of 10 emails, our main question is, hey, they black? they white?
That always
matters.
We always do that.
Question
always matter.
all the time. I'm weak.
Yeah,
I'm
we
weak. My
always.
bad, Mo. Go ahead.
So now you good. James Cooper
That's part of
7740.
this show, though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
He says, when I was a kid, you were old. Now I'm old, and you're still old. This is just a comment from our the lowest form of conversation back at the Bing episode that me and Riggs did. Just about done, y'all. YouTube content. I can't believe they even had this name. But it's from the announcement that I did. He says, all jokes aside, very glad you're okay over there. Hope the family's okay. Dean, this may be our bruv. I think Dean is our bruv from the UK.
Bruv.
So if this is you, bruv, thank you. We are doing all right. So thank you. Also, y'all appreciate this name, Barksdale Corners.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah.
I'm just a gangster. I'm just a gangster, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. They also about the announcement. They said, glad you are safe. No worries on the episode. And that was Jay Farrow doing Denzel doing Tony Soprano. I guess they're referencing me trying to do my terrible impression of Tony Soprano. But I don't remember Jay Farrow. Maybe they're talking about
Jay Farrow does it.
Oh, he does
do impressions. Yeah.
But I thought it was what's the
you talking about Eric Spears?
Eric Spears.
Eric Spears got an incredible Tony Soprano.
Yeah, he's really good. He just got to work on the slower nuances of it, but he has it pretty much.
Yeah,
speaking of Tony Soprano impressions, really quickly, if y'all ain't watching The Penguin, that's who Colin Farrell is channeling. Tony Soprano. He is he's a version of Tony Soprano in that.
I gotta let it cool off, so I won't go in there being the biggest.
And if you like,
no, it's not. Don't look at it's not The Sopranos. Don't even look at it in that even same light. I'm just saying he's in like his version of the Penguin is a version of Colin Farrell mimicking Tony Soprano. That's it.
But not in a cheap ripoff. Not in a cheap ripoff. Literally just persona. No. Yeah. He's not trying to be Tony Soprano, but you can tell they from that same vein.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like good storytelling and just good TV or good acting in general, like even if you don't like the story, the acting, if you're a fan of acting, and I mean more than just the dialect of it. I mean the physical acting, the walk that he has, it's incredible. Like Colin Farrell, I ain't even
body.
Obviously, I watched the Batman movie, but I didn't know he was like that.
It's right up there.
Y'all they have like split cameras of like Tony and him. So I'm gonna sing y'all that. That's why. It's
don't have it in your head.
I wish it would stop
like The Sopranos.
Yeah, that's why I like y'all play because they got even the red text. You know.
No, don't. It's nothing like that. It's different, but he is like you can tell that's one of the people that he studied for this role, and he is absolutely killing. This is one of the best performances I've seen on TV. Like period. Like you can't even tell that's Colin Farrell. This up there with your boy from True Detective season 1, Matthew McConaughey. This up there with Anthony Hopkins season 1 of Westworld. Like this is one
of
those.
Up there with Walter White, Brian Cranston?
Yes.
Wow, that's
right there with
if you're a fan of acting, this is phenomenal.
Okay,
it's phenomenal.
And this is our last YouTube comment from our lady friend, the girl Jordan 93. She says, glad you, Mrs. Mo, Princess Mo, and Baby Mo are okay. See y'all next week.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jordan.
Thank you. That's dope. And that is all of our emails. We were a little backed up from obviously the previous episode, so y'all had to bear with us. Y'all knew that was coming. But we thank all y'all for hitting us up, man. Of course, we're going to always read them on air because y'all are supporters of ours, and we appreciate y'all. But without further ado, Spike Lou, what episode are we reviewing today, man?
Mo, we are reviewing season 6, episode 4, Fleshy, Part of the Thigh. In this episode, fellas, Tony seems to be recovering well. Barone's sanitation may be under new ownership. Paulie is told a secret from his childhood that he doesn't digest well. Bobby sees a unique room of opportunity to earn, and Tony finally gets released from the hospital. This is season 6. This is episode 4, The Earners, Fleshy, Part of the Thigh.
And we jump right in. Paulie heads to his car. It's just a real short clip. And then Tony is being patched up by a young black lady. It's so good to see representation. It's good to see representation, and she has locks. We see in the scene also, in the meantime, while she's patching him up, we see the The infamous note, sometimes I go about in pity for myself, and all the while a great wind carries me across the sky. And then we also see the rapper Deluxe was shot 7 times in the midst of
This was post 50 Cent, right?
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely parody vibes. What did y'all think about this scene, man? All of this, Carmela eventually, comes in, brings Tony the dinosaur encyclopedia. Tony says he hasn't felt like himself since he's been awake.
That was the main part for me. Tony, well, as an audience, we know obviously Tony came too. Now what? All right, he's about to get well enough to where we can leave. Like we know Tony's getting his last surgery. He's still recovering, but he's back to being Tony Soprano. Like we know there's no more dream sequences, none of that. We officially back. Mm-hmm. Obviously the letter, the note, that's always been a big Sopranos talking point. And obviously we'll have more scenes with that, but it does show that Tony has that on his mind. Like Tony just went through an out of body experience. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many people like get into things like this, but if you've ever listened to a podcast of people who have been near death and came back or made it or been in a coma for a while, like sometimes they say things that you can't explain because they were in a coma while certain things happen, but they can talk about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's an interesting method, but I think with Tony going through that, he's realizing, man, like I don't know what he's questioning life. Right? Mm-hmm. What is all of this? Mm-hmm. My mom always said it's a big nothing, but there's more to it than that. And I'm really trying to figure it out. So you can tell that that's going to be something that's on his mind. Obviously, the rapper part of it we'll talk about throughout the episode. That's hilarious. But Tony opening up. Normally, Tony wouldn't just randomly say that to his black nurse. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's another point that this has changed him. And he's that deeply concerned about it. Like whoever's in this room right now, I'm going to mention this to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because he needs to know what that's like. Maybe she has an answer. He's just looking for answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. I thought it was interesting that he thought Janice left a note there. As far as what you read out, I was wondering where that came from, but then he does bring up her past, and she studied that and all the things of that nature. But you brought up something very interesting, Rich, in the sense of sharing. Oh, I don't feel myself with the nurse, and like it really doesn't leave her any like she don't know him. But maybe you've heard someone in here before that's gone through the same thing that I have. So that level of vulnerability that Tony shows in here is very rare that we get this in this whole series. So it was interesting to see, okay, as a viewer, I remember watching this in real time, like where are they taking this? Like what type of person is Tony going to be post shooting?
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. And I'm going to ask y'all when we go further about the letter, who do y'all think brought the letter? So I ain't going to ask right now because I want to get us a little further in the show. But this is one of those things like the unanswered Soprano.
We talked about it the last episode.
About the letter?
Mm-hmm. So I said I thought it was Barb.
Oh, you said what did we say then?
I can't remember. Maybe I'm making all this up. Maybe I'm like Tony, man. Maybe
it vaguely sounds familiar.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember it though.
I might be.
I feel like I might be sound kind of familiar though. Like when you said that, I think when Barb was there, it did.
Oh yeah.
At that part I remember, but I don't know if we even like thought about because it's hard to. Well, I'll wait.
You might have said what you just said, and I just really casually just said I think it was Barb. It wasn't. You might have laid it out like it's not time for the conversation, but we'll have it later. And I think I might have just blurted that out. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm saving good earnings for my next rewatch of Sopranos. I don't really listen to it, so
I feel you. Yeah. And then of course, like the book is just. But I would say this: if you haven't had like an outer body experience, what I could say, I'm not gonna say it's similar, but what I would connect with is if you ever had a dream where you see somebody in your dream and something's not really right or going well for some individual in your dream, and then you wake up and then you see the individual, like how it throws you off. Like you're looking at them side-eyed, like, you was in my dream, like I seen something. And you're like, you cool? You good? Yeah, I'm cool. What's up? Like, you don't even understand what I just had a dream about that you were in. You know, so that's just on a small, minuscule scale. But if just trying to make a connection there. But yeah, it's pretty deep. But I do like that Tony's out and we get to start moving forward with what this thing is going to be.
Random fact about dreams: you can only dream about people that you've met before.
Heard that before.
Otherwise, you couldn't picture.
You saying are you sure it ain't? You can only recognize people you've met.
Yo,
before?
did you know faces that you know?
I've had dreams of people I didn't know.
Faces that you know. You've seen somebody that you've never seen before in your dream.
Yeah, a few times. I've been in war in my dreams, like, but I couldn't go back and describe it to you. Like, I couldn't describe like, oh, I remember, but I do remember that I didn't know this person.
Go ahead.
Y'all saying it like this is so crazy. Like,
how would you see a face? Like, your dream is in your mind. Like, what would the face come from?
Like, it's just a default. Like, I hate to put it this way,
like
my
player,
it's like a default person. It is like it's a Grand Theft Auto random person. Like, walk
most
up.
Like he in the Sims. He in the Sims,
like
and shit.
pretty much. Like, it's like press X to talk to the person. Like, that's the dream. They're just this random. I've had plenty of dreams of like people in there. Like, yeah, I didn't know.
I'm only laughing because I love when Mo does Mo shit. Like, just the cat.
Me not knowing somebody.
No, just the way you said I have. And like like everything about it, man. It was on brand with Mo. I love it. It's hilarious.
Fun fact: according to neurologists, your brain can't make up faces in your dreams. So everyone you see in a dream is somebody you've met or seen before, even if you don't remember them.
They're wrong. Like, how did y'all gather that? Like, y'all niggas is wrong. How do you gather like you can't see faces you've never seen? Like, what do you mean? How many television, you've seen so much over your life, you can't see your mind.
These are neurologists saying this.
I don't care who you niggas says what your qualifications is. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm telling you.
The brain. It says the human mind is incapable of creating faces from scratch. You are seeing faces that you have seen before, you just don't remember it. The brain can remember a lot, even faces you've seen for the briefest instant. These faces may be what you are seeing.
Okay, now that's different. Seeing a face you may have seen before, but you don't know them. Okay, but you know everybody. You can't see somebody you don't know in your dream. Like, that's why I'm saying, I'm like, nigga, I don't know them now. Maybe I seen this person's face at the freezer section.
You've seen them.
Yeah, okay, that's all I'm saying. Like, all right, bro. Like, come on, like, nigga, like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
that's like if when you remember things, every time you remember a past event, you're remembering the last time you remembered it. You're not remembering the event itself.
The actual event.
I be trying ever since you said that. I be trying to like go as far back as I can, see if I can actually remember the thing. I've been doing that a lot here lately, though. Talking to my daughter, just really reminiscent on what I can remember. I've been pretty deep on some memories that I didn't know I still remember clear.
That's dope.
But we go to the next scene. We're at Barone Sanitation, and this is Jason Barone, and he's he checks in about Tony being the second highest earner at Barone because obviously the father has passed away. The only thing I wanted to say is just throws me a little bit at how naive he was, but not as much now after we get the reveal from the mother later in the episode. So I don't have a ton. And then of course he said, "Hey, why don't you talk to Paulie Gaultieri?" So yeah, the son is just trying to get the affairs in order. He's trying to look out for his mom. He's trying to do the honorable thing. You know what I mean? So anything I want to add to this little Barone meeting?
Yeah. Dang, what's my man's name? I'm sorry.
Jason?
Barone's. No, not Jason. It's dad.
Mr. Barone.
Yeah, Mr. Barone. Why? I know we know it. We say it. I can't think about it. It's not Dick Barone, is it?
You damn might be right.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, while you're talking, I'll find his name.
The whole point of it is I really do blame him for all of this. Like, may he rest in peace. But I'm assuming since Jason's the one that's so Dick Barone. So I'm assuming since Jason's there, that means he's legally responsible. I don't know if he's doing this for his mom or if they actually left this in his name.
Okay.
And he's selling it for his mom. I'm not sure how it works. Either way, even if you're your mom and you're grieving, you still have to have enough to say, nah, I got somebody else who's going to handle this for me. This business in particular, don't worry about this. and you call a Tony, you call somebody, and you help them, let them manage the sale of this. I'm surprised they got Jason involved in this at all. Because like Tony said, the culture of the karting business is different. Like, and they set him up for failure. If his people set him up and sent him in here, they set him up for failure.
Yeah.
This is why I love doing this review with you guys, because I looked at it from a different way, Rich. I looked at it from the savviness of New York. I know this nigga don't know what he doing. I know Tony in the coma. I know his dad just died. My expectation is for him to handle it this way so I can take over this route. Like, I understand 100% what you're saying, Rich, but I think this was Johnny Sack being Johnny Sack. Like, oh, let's pounce on him to kill. I'm finna kill him. I know what type of dude this is. And now I'm finna move in for the kill and roll this whole thing in motion so I can have the upper hand on this, what should I feel like is mine, because I'm New York and I'm more powerful than Jersey anyway. Like, Johnny Sack looking at this like Tony shouldn't have had this anyway.
This is a New York route?
No, it's a Jersey route. But
it's a Jersey route.
It's one of the most lucrative ones that Tony has, obviously, is getting him a W-2. He's a consultant making the second highest in the firm.
So
Johnny Sack just being observant. No. The dad was number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Johnny Sack is just being observant. He's looking at it like, Phil's coming to give me updates every week. Right? And he's telling me that Tony's in a coma, nobody's talking to him. What Johnny Sack thinks is, oh, the Barone trash route. I'm finna go holler at the Saints, especially when Phil probably comes and tell him that Dick Barone just died. It's like, oh, you know, Dick Barone died. And now Johnny looking at this like, oh, shit, I can go holler at the son, make him a good little offer on the business, and I'm finna knock Tony off the board over here. Like, I look at just the savviness of how Johnny said,
I guess I missed that whole point. I missed that whole thing.
Because remember when Tony went down to meet with Phil, he said not a courtesy call or nothing. And Phil told him, like, all due respect, man, you was in a coma, bro. Like,
yeah, like, bro, I
had to do what I had to do.
Make it, nigga. I thought you was gonna die.
I love that perspective. That's a great point. They definitely took advantage of it.
What a finesse. We go to the next scene. Tony, Janice, and Bobby. Janice, she comes and he's trying to see if she's the one that left the note. Pretty much she didn't. And Janice has to go and check on the nanny. And then Tony pretty much gives Bobby the blues and tells him that he can't hide behind being his brother-in-law forever. Every man is judged on his own merit.
He said, you're an okay guy. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I think he meant it in a good way. I think he meant it like in a.
He did, but it's still wild to say.
It is still wild to tell somebody like it's almost up there with
Jack
saying,
guy.
You got potential. Like,
yeah, you all right, but being all right ain't gonna keep you around long.
But I like that it sparked something in Bobby. It sparked something in Bobby because then he asked him about his hobby with the trains and stuff. Like he asked
he was clowning his shit.
Yeah, like he
remember
like really
that was talking about. That was one of the funniest moments of the scene because Tony can't eat because he got surgery. They dropped the food off anyway. Once Janice leaves, he knows what Bobby's thinking. Like Bobby wants this fucking food, and then he kind of pushes it over to him, and then gives him like a little subtle head nod, and then dogs him in the process. I can tell by the way he pushed the cart that he was salty about it. And Bobby even giving a head nod, like he looked guilty. Bobby looked guilty, like I know I shouldn't be taking this, man. I know how this looks, but I'm going to take this motherfucking sandwich. And that nigga Tony said, I suppose you got a little choo-choo train at home, huh?
The whole setup for this is great, like you said.
Takes your toast right from the kitchen, delivers it to your bedroom, huh? Like, nigga, because I shouldn't have even been over there when all this shit happened. And here you are eating in front of my face, man. I was subtle, man. Man, nigga, if you don't make your own keep around here.
Yeah, like marrying my sister not gonna do it, bro. Like that shit finna run its course. Yeah. Like all the little cool points that you earn, like crazy Janice is now under Bobby control. Like, nah, bro, I need you to do something.
Yeah, and you remember Bobby a few seasons ago when they were sitting, when Chris was trying to, go whack his alleged father's killer. Bobby and Tony were eating, Quasimodo predicted all of this and they were having that conversation. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty much about to, step you up and everything. He's like, man, I've been waiting for a grip. I've been waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's funny. You get this moment now, like, all right, bro, like it's time to, let's get it.
To Bobby's credit, I took heed. He took heed to it.
He absolutely did. He stopped eating the sandwich and everything.
Well, I don't know if he stopped eating, but
he
he
did.
definitely was on this hustle shit. Did he? Okay. He definitely, this episode hustle.
He's seen the opportunity.
But it is ironic that Bobby he's like that person who comes to work and skates by doing just enough not to get fired. Because there's a lot of stuff he hasn't done. We second the first episode of Soprano whole movie. We find out Bobby ain't got no body. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff that you would expect certain people to have
and
at this point in the game.
Too.
Nepotism.
His dad was like such a motherfucker just gave him a pass.
Yeah.
Yep. And now his brother-in-law, the boss, like, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of I shook the right hands in life.
That's a good point.
First cross reference, weird reference, but Martin. I think about Cole and Jerome when they're in the grocery store, and how Jerome like literally like put his hand around his ear. Look at him, still wet behind the ears. Man, go on, get up out of here if I toss your little thick ass. Like that. That's the way I felt Tony was like, because it's like you haven't caught a body. You ain't got no gumars. You got time for a hobby. Like you literally have time for a hobby. A man got to have his hobby.
But playing with choo-choo trains.
Playing with choo-choo
come on,
trains,
man. You know how mad I be? Come on, I'll be through.
Tony's ducking feds, ducking enemies, trying to like, come on, dog. Like, yeah.
And ain't even nothing wrong with having a hobby like that. It's just the fact that this is some silly shit to get shot over.
Yeah, like, it really is.
Literally.
But then again, it's still on Tony because Tony didn't want to hire nobody. So, that's the other side that people don't talk about. But we get Aaron Arkaway. I think we ain't seen him since season 4.
Yeah, whenever,
is he playing the same character?
He's the same character.
Yeah, same dude. Okay.
Yeah, so they use him kind of as like the alley-oop to the gentleman, the
evangelist.
The evangelist. But
I can't.
Yeah.
I love writing like this. I love writing like this when Tony's struggling with the morphine. He walks in, you don't even see him. Have you heard the good news? And obviously that's a classic Soprano phrase. And his real life reaction because of the morphine is Jesus Christ. And he's like, that's right. Like I love when writing gets clever to that point where it just all flows smoothly.
Yeah, he dropping some bars for sure. And then of course he has a sign, womb is God. It's interesting too because what is that season 2 when Chris gets shot? How he was like, this morphine's not working, the medicine's not working. He kept clicking the button, and now Tony's in that same position, clicking it, and obviously trying to wean him off of it or whatever. A lot of these scenes definitely remind me of my father-in-law. It's a lot of references. He has a lot of similarities to Tony Soprano in a weird way. That's why I always wait till my wife watches the show, because when she does, I'm gonna have that conversation. Can you see some similarities there? Because there is like these moments are a lot of similarity. He's diabetic, so there's been some tough moments, and so there's a lot of similarities this season, though. I'll tell you that much.
Between Tony and your father-in-law,
it's just similarities like cadence, the attitude, looks. It just it's weird how that happens. Like I don't know how that happens, but it's really weird, but interesting.
I'll say this. I know you're gonna get into the evangelist. Whoever the casting director was, knocked it out the park. This looks like somebody. This looks like somebody that I'm flipping through the channels. Man, he got the look. He has the look, and I can't describe that look, but everybody out there knows exactly what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
What I would have to say, Mo, what type of monster do you think I am? Mo, to break the fourth wall. I'm gonna break the fourth wall because this is what this podcast.
Go back to book 1 if you want to see what kind of monster, what kind of animal.
Break the fourth wall. Mo made a disclaimer before we started. He was like, "Spike, please don't go too hard on the preacher." And I promise, it never crossed my mind until you said it to even go hard. Like I didn't even. He was irrelevant. He was like a net. Like I never
even okay.
Nah, I never even acknowledged him like that. But I've been thinking since you said it, like, what type of monster does he think I am?
Go back and see. You ain't. That's because you don't listen to yourself. See, I listen to you on the pod. There's some stuff that you got through there. Like I say, he was in a moment he didn't realize. And I said, I was like, hey, bro, come on. but I just thought you. Yeah, go ahead.
In saying that, to your point, in saying that, it never really like this.
So you're looking at this as protocol, like this is just regular hospital etiquette.
they were passing time to me in this. Like as like watching this from The Sopranos, removing another week in the books, and how I feel about religion and anything else about it. Um, to me, I was looking at this more like as a Soprano. That's why it surprised me when you said that. As a Sopranos fan, this didn't even register to me. Like this preacher dude, like he wasn't even on my radar to comment on as far as what he was telling Tony and the conversations that he and Tony had. I was more so looking at it like similar to the dream sequences. It's like, okay, they're passing time here, and they're passing time in a unique way with him having these conversations. But where is this going? Like, are they telling me that Tony has changed as a person or as a character? But I did think it was interesting that you gave the disclaimer at the beginning because you thought I was gonna go hard. But no, it never crossed my mind. Like he was irrelevant to me.
Okay. This was what I'll say is David Chase. I think Michael Imperioli from Talking Sopranos has spoke to just David Chase always just finds interest just in religion and belief systems and stuff like that. Not that he's necessarily identifies with any of them, which obviously we got the monks, we get, kind of Buddhism references in this early part of the season. Now we're kind of tapping into a Christianity vibe of it all. I think that's just one of those general observational interests that David Chase had and decided to, rather he wrote it or spoke with his writers to bring that aspect to it. Because look, really, I don't know with Schwinn, is that like Scientology?
I'm not sure where Schwinn was coming from.
Okay, I'll look it up when we get there.
I think that might have just been his overall belief. I think that's him just being a scientist, or I believe he was a scientist. I can't remember or recall, but I think that's him just looking at life from different.
Yeah,
I thought he was atheist.
I would say that it was like an atheist. He's definitely that, but I think
I don't think that he is. You're talking about the other doctor. I mean, excuse me, the other rocket scientist. Yeah. I think he was speaking more so from a perspective of I'm too smart to believe in God or a God. Everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Earth and
and then so it really works. I'll ask in a later scene when we get the prayer leader, the evangelist here. But what I will say is my first time watching this, I was two things I would say about the casting. I was really annoyed the first time around with him. I felt it with the what is this dude's name? The evangelist, the chaplain. I was really annoyed with him the first time watching Sopranos. I was just like, it felt heavy-handed. I felt like we're getting back into that Columbus territory. Like, again, all of a sudden, y'all want to, like we talked about, all of a sudden, y'all want to care, or the Christopher episode, I'm sorry, where we like, all of a sudden, now y'all want to care about something, like we spoke about. But this time around, I didn't feel that way. And it's not because of my belief system. It's because when I really watched, I said, his approach was really not that bad. Like, I mean, we all have run across these times when people come to you like, bruh, not today, dog. Like, I get it, I got you, I'm good, but I didn't feel like his approach was that crazy, and how he led with it and everything. I didn't feel like he was overly aggressive. Now the later scene, a little different sentiment. So I watching it this time, I wasn't annoyed with him, and I also found it funny that Tony, like he made a comment and Tony said, "Oh, so you've been to the Bing." Like, bruh, that was funny to me. But there's a scene that I really laughed out loud in real time. I'll tell y'all, like, when we get there. So
Bob Brewster is his name.
Bob Rooster. Okay.
Brewster.
So
yeah, Bob Brewster.
Okay, so Bob in there. Gotcha. And I did think when I first seen him too, he kind of looked a little creepy too. Had a like kind of creepy
Definitely
look.
Creepy.
Got a real never mind.
I think I think it was meant to do. That was
like he lived a different life before. Like his look gave you like, purpose. Oh, he was a menace.
He'd been to the Bing before.
He definitely been to the Bing. Like he was
he lost his wife, drove his car drunk, addicted to cocaine and strippers. Like he was living a life.
Been to the Bing. He'd been to the Bing.
He definitely
crashed out.
Crashed out.
He definitely did. He crashed out, man. That nigga
funny, bro.
I will say, go ahead, Mo. My bad. I got one thing I want to say about this scene. Only thing I want to say about this scene, do y'all buy that Carmela remembered that nigga's name?
Who, Aaron?
She walked in the room like, is that Aaron Arkaway? Like, do you believe her remembering him?
I do. The reason I do, because Carmela has, she has a gray area of belief system. like it's not strong as she thinks it is, but I feel like she does remember, like, oh, remember Dr. Pepler, Doc, I feel like Carmela's kind of good with names. That's like a thing of hers. She's a social like type of person. So I think she's good with names, wives, faces. And then also just like how her belief system. Like I think that she won't forget another, pastor or priest
Believer.
or yeah. So
I would have, because to me that would have been, he would have walked in and I said, oh yeah, you the nigga that used to fuck with Janice. There's no way I don't remember his first or last name.
I think Carmela is such a hater that's why she remembered his name. She been talking to like her homegirls so much about. You remember when Janice brought Aaron Arkaway over and he fell asleep at dinner? Like she's so much of a hater that she been talking about him so much that's why she remembers his name. That's what I always chalked it up to.
That's really tapping into that feminine energy for sure. Like that's definitely like how women do work.
She said his name a couple of times. The only reason she remembered it because she was talking to Ro complaining. She was talking to whoever complaining like that Arkaway guy, like the Janice is there.
Yeah. And we know she got a thing for men of the cloth.
Right.
That too. And he's supposed to be a man of the cloth.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're gonna revisit that one day. The good old days of Sopranos. Boy, we're still in the lighthearted side of it because boy, it's about to go somewhere. It gets you when you watch this how light it is still. Like it's heavy from theme standpoint, but it's not dark yet. It's just heavy. Heavy from a like spiritual, deep, psychological thinking and thinking about life and all, it's heavy or deep, but it's not dark yet. So we're still kind of in the light spot. But boy, it does it turn.
Because even with this next scene, the light spot, like what was this all about?
You talking about the doctors doing the surgery on Tony?
Yeah, like you said, it's still playing to the light spots of this show, this episode. It wasn't needed.
It really wasn't.
All, but it was a comic relief for people to watch the show and what they're gearing up to go into. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and I would say that I think they've been showing, and I've spoke about it on our very first episode this season. They're showing how nobody really cares about nobody. Like, people don't care so much about the oath that they took in there because we're in at the end. People don't really, doctors don't really care about people like they say. Tony, he don't really care about his boys like that. Carmela don't really care about Tony like that. She just cares about, what she's familiar with. Like, nobody really cares about nobody. That's what we're finding out. Even the doctors, civilians. That's the time that this is the backdrop of what this season will be. That's what I believe. The whole we found Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, y'all got me fucked up.
Right, ain't nothing you can do about it either.
Yeah, I remember that. Y'all remember that black. I don't know. She might have been a surgeon. I don't want to say she wasn't a nurse. She was more than that, or had a different position. I don't want to say more, like a comparative thing. But they fired her because she was fucking with somebody doing surgery. Like fucking with they.
She was shooting videos. She was
doing some weekend at Bernie's.
She was doing some TikTok video.
She was doing some weekend at Bernie's shit with this nigga.
It was literally some TikTok videos and shit. And she got like her whole practice got shut down.
She got me fucked up.
Hey, listen, y'all ever see the Seinfeld episode where he thought like, hey, Bryan Cranston was his like dentist? And he said, "Man, I think something's going on when they put me under to do surgery." And like when he woke up, like his eyes was blurry. He was like adjusting his jaw. He think they was like sleeping together while they was putting him under, bro. It was nasty behavior. Shouts out to Seinfeld, one of the best sitcoms.
I just real randomly, like as the Wire we do. I was just watching the Seinfeld episode. It was the one where George. He was trying to nudge Jerry and tell him something in front of one of his homeboys from the neighborhood. And dude was like, "What is that?" He was like, "Oh, it's a medical condition. I hit my arm." And essentially, dude was like, "Okay, I'll get you a doctor's appointment where they can see what it is." And Jerry was like, "Man, you got to lie about this forever." And George was like, "Shit, this is what I do."
Yeah, that's what life is a lie. My whole life. Bro, I love George Costanza.
I was crying.
George was like, "Man, I'm tired of hope. Don't give me hope. Hope has ruined everything. Like that, George is. Hey, listen,
George hilarious, man.
I love George Costanza.
Jerry
George one of
essentially
the
told him, "Hey, bro, you gotta lie about this for him." He was like, "Okay, shit, this is what I do."
That's fine. Like George go through the lengths, bro. He go through the lengths.
All right,
to get it
nigga,
off.
like
Hey.
what time are you saying Goodfellas? Like it's my first fucking hole, man. Like I'll dig the fucking hole. Shit,
Yeah,
that ain't nothing, nigga. I've
Hey.
been doing this.
Yeah,
Facts. This
George
is what I do.
Costanza. Like
This is my life.
Seinfeld podcast coming soon. No, I'm just playing.
Hey,
But-
man. George,
I fuck with Seinfeld. I fuck with Seinfeld.
I mess with.
I've been
it hard.
rewatching Curb. I've been rewatching Curb, man. That shit ignorant.
I like Curb. too.
Curb is ignorant because all this shit can low key really happen.
Yeah,
Facts.
he
and
does.
how,
Seinfeld
and how
same
Larry
way.
handled it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick. I know it's been a while. Y'all watched the whole series all the way through on Seinfeld, but like in your mind, can you remember maybe what your favorite like episode is, or like whatever the premise or whatever a scene or anything? Just for our listeners that like, oh, I didn't know y'all watched Seinfeld. Is there like something y'all just comes to mind when you think about Seinfeld? What's a moment or a thing that you think about?
When Kramer had the cans and had them in the mail truck and was trying to go get the money for the cans, do you remember that? Y'all remember
The can? He had the mail truck. I remember the mail truck.
He had the he was taking the soda cans and he was trying to get money for the soda.
Oh
cans.
yeah. I remember.
So he stole my man mail truck
Newman.
and just loaded all the Newman. He loaded all the soda cans in the back of the truck and was like on the highway. It was wild. And that and the sign that was outside the Kramer window, like the chicken sign.
Oh yeah, what's the it was I don't know if it was it's a famous person's chicken, but like he was
it was shining outside his window and he was like tanning and shit.
Yeah, he was
and the soup shit.
Of course, the soup. Yeah.
Soup. That's legendary. That's a legendary episode. Soup's legendary. The episode when George was trying to do as least as possible at work.
It's a good one.
And hit up under the desk.
Hit up under the desk. Hit up under the desk. It's not you, it's me. George Costanza. Old girl was hitting him with the knife. Like it's not you. Like nobody does it like me. Like you know the whole line. It was like she was trying to hit him with his own moves, and she said, "All right, it's you." He like, "You damn right, it's me." But the first thing I always think about, and it's not like it's just a random moment I always think about, the episode when Jerry was dating the chick with the man hands, the big hands.
My God.
What was all that shit? That shit had me weak every time. Because they do close-ups of her hands, like breaking claws.
Oh, the man
bruh, they was out here fooling with that shit.
Listen, that is wild.
What's yours, Mo?
Mine's is I mean, of course, everybody know the opposite episode, like where George lost everything and he did everything the opposite, and it would start working in his favor. He became a real nigga that episode. He's like, I'm such and such age. I live with my mom. Blah blah. He still pulled the chick. I was like, because I was happy to see George get the dub. Like I root for George. But what comes to mind is like Kramer was trying to wear jeans. And he couldn't wear jeans, so he decided to go back to the slacks. But he so they asked him like, "Hey, so did you go to boxers?" Nope. They go to briefs. Guess again. And so they figure out this nigga was commando. He said, "Oh, I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every moment of it." This nigga balls out in the slacks is like, bruh. And then he was like, I'm like, this nigga had a wet dream in real like. Anyway, like that show is a wild show, bro.
Yeah, man. I hate that Michael Richards wild out.
Yeah, he finally came back though. Like he finally
came back. Yeah, but he was still wild.
The last other one for me would be the bet.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
You know George didn't really win, right?
When Kramer came in and said, "I'm out."
Oh yeah, I gotta get this off. You hear me?
Listen. Yeah, classic.
So
shit.
That's one of them shows, man. Hey, y'all throw it in the hat. Like we got it. What's our brief list right now?
If we get enough feedback about it,
enough feedback, who knows? You know what I'm saying? So right now in the hat, y'all. Officially, based on y'all emails, we got Breaking Bad is next. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. I think
those are
has
the
Lost
leaders
come
in
up?
the clubhouse.
Has Lost come out?
No, the leaders in the clubhouse probably Friday Night Lights, Breaking Bad.
Friday Night Lights, yeah. In The Wire. In The Wire, of course.
And of course. Like
so that's about 4 shows. So y'all start again. We're almost wrapping up Good Earners. We're still gonna do back of the Bing episodes, but y'all start throwing in the hat. Anytime y'all send an email, just put that at the bottom of the email. By the way, y'all should do this next. So we will eventually, I'm gonna try to figure out how to tally it up. So, but anyway,
real quick before we get to this next scene with Tony and Meadow, what did y'all think about Tony bringing up the Viagra?
He's just trying to be a contrarian.
Tony.
Like that I feel like just like
just trying to be
just be divisive. Like Tony's just doing just like maybe he's trying to turn him off, get him out of there, or just being a contrarian, because Tony's not that interested. He's not full blown interested. Like I want you to lay the whole thing out for me. I think it's just I had an experience and maybe you got some insight. Like he's just looking for insight.
Because I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway.
Yeah,
I don't even really care what y'all say.
Yeah, I just maybe you can make me understand this coma dream. Jason Barone visits Tony, and what I don't have much to add. Only thing I wanted to say was I was really impressed at how much Paulie knew about the business, and Tony being gentle, but menacing in a subtle way. Like, hey, I don't want to see you get hurt. But like Paulie just knowing that info, I was like, oh, that's fire. That was fire to me. Like that he knew what he knew. Being like, I don't know, a consultant or whatever they got his picture up at Barone Sanitation as. Anything I want to add to that?
It goes to make. I was gonna say another cross reference, Mo. It reminds me of Stringer Bill in season 1, or it might have been whenever he had the print shop. And niggas was posted up in there like they was just front jobs. They was bullshitting. Who cares when the customer get their order? He said, hell no, we got to run this like a real business. Like, so just goes to show, Paulie got to know that information, because if anybody ever pressed him, this is what I really do. We didn't acknowledge it in that first scene, but that picture of him holding up that award, just that mug look on his face with the suit, he doesn't look like he's in the carton business at all, but it's just funny Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out Jason and Meadow had a moment. I'm saying Phineas losing grip. You should know Phineas is losing grip because Meadow giving other people the eye.
Yeah, and then also capitalize, man.
Yeah, man, and also Tony giving the information. Just say, man, listen, don't wait till I get out of the hospital. We'll settle this, man. Just that first warning of this is a different culture. This ain't what you think it is, bro. I'm trying to tell you without telling you.
I agree. I think the Jason. If Jason was able to get that, he would have got what he wanted from the trash business. One of the biggest things that I take from this, in the sense of what I said earlier about Johnny Sack, if Paulie know this, and we know how much effort Paulie puts in, I know Johnny Sack know this stuff. Therefore, I know that's why he took advantage of Jason being in this position. Because Paulie, as we see later when they're in the negotiations, of course, he had some things that happen. He wasn't able to focus, but he still didn't really know the numbers like he needed to when it was the time to know them. And I feel like that Johnny Sack has done this research. I'm that type of gangster where, like, yeah, I'm hopping on every opportunity that presents itself. So I thought this was very dope in the sense of course, New York corrupted him. Of course, they moved in on him and opted on his naivete as far as, like we finna take this from Tony because we think he finna die.
Yeah. I think Paulie would have known, only because Paulie, he's famous for.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I think Paulie would have known, but I think the fact that Paulie knows let me know that Johnny Sack know. Because the Sopranos don't got to do this. It's that good of a show. We know how much Paulie run his mouth. So if Paulie can regurgitate this, ain't no telling what Johnny Sack know about this from a random conversation that he's had with him, or what Chris know, or what Phil knows. Like, if Paulie can do this, ain't no telling who knows, because we know Paulie talks a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. We get Paulie goes to visit his Aunt Dottie. Really pretty much she reveals that she was a bad girl, and pretty much she had sex with Russ.
I think it's the all time sitting there.
Yeah, and then Paulie's trying to get them to put some 2 small shoes on her feet because they got her in the moo shoes. All I wanted to say, bro, this is by far, this might be top 5 most selfish scenes I've ever seen in this series.
This scene, all right, explain. Let's talk about it.
you're trying to make, because of your belief system. I imagine you're a Catholic, right?
Yeah, Catholicism. Yeah, they definitely practice.
So you're trying to make amends with your sins. You're on your way out, and you know you're out. You wait to the very last moment of your life to do this, but really, shouldn't you be doing this with a priest though? Like, why did you ruin his life on your way out? This is the most selfish thing, and then you force him to have to deal with it. Like, to me, that almost seemed like a sin in itself. Like the fact that I'm gonna tell you I'm your mother, but I'm about to be up out of here, dog. Figure it out. And that to me, this is one of the most selfish things. And I just can't stand, every time I see it, I just get blood boiled.
Without giving him much. Yeah, without 100%. You're right. 100%. I don't know. I'm assuming that has something to do with being a nun and Catholicism as a whole.
Yeah.
And just trying to admit your sins, repent from your sins, the whole nine, because you are right. It's one of those, why are you telling me this and why now? Like, I know why now, because you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
But it would make sense that they admitted that to a priest. Because Paulie could have went the rest of his life and been cool. Like, Paulie, this is one thing if Paulie is 27, even 37. Like, Paulie grown. Like, Paulie a full-ass adult.
He pushing 60.
Yeah, and at this point, like, you know how much of I've lived more than I have in front of me. So why would you even put this on me? It is a little bit odd. I'm sure there's more to it, and people might have a different opinion on it, but I'd rather just live with the lie.
Yeah, at that point,
because now I got too many questions, and I got so many questions that I know you on your way out. Yeah. Like, and you got Alzheimer's. I might not even be able to get what I need, and that's gonna piss me off even more. Now we'll talk about Paulie's reaction and everything else with it later on in the episode. But this is wild. This is wild to drop him out of nowhere.
I was a little bit more lenient with her. I think that, like, she on her deathbed, and it was one of the major confessions of her life that she wanted to get off her chest. And she's thinking that maybe
you're full of it, bro.
maybe he'll be able to understand this. Because, like, people make crazy confessions on their deathbed. It's like, it's a proven fact.
No, you're right. You're right about that. But if your mom told you she wasn't your mom on her way out,
yeah, I'd be hot like Paulie.
Bruh,
I ain't even hold you. I'd be hot like Paulie.
I've been saying we look alike. I've been saying I got this from you. I got that from you. I'm just like you. I be talking like you. And you like, oh, that's your auntie.
But what? You don't respect her trying to get that off. Like, I'm trying to go to heaven or hell, my nigga. Like, I'm gonna die.
Nah.
This is the biggest thing. This is probably the biggest burden of her life.
You knew you were dying.
I want to get this off. I want to tell somebody.
Come by. I got some things I want to tell you. I know I'm about to be out of here. Come by and see me every day. I want to break down everything for you. You know you're dying. You wait till the very last minute, like, yo, I'm about to be out of here, heart about to stop breathing, all that. And I'm gonna take that.
She on her deathbed, bro. I kind of feel her. I ain't
the most selfish thing I've seen. This is up there.
It is selfish. I do agree with that. It is selfish, but however, I do understand her, like, dealing with, is the afterlife a real thing? Is this something I can get off my chest and get into heaven? Like, I do get her telling him this.
I wish she would have just told Dottie to be like, hey, when I leave,
can't trust her to do it, bro. You can't trust her to do it. Because she didn't want to tell. But she didn't want to tell Paulie when he found out about it.
But you spent your whole life lying. Like, you think like this one, like,
you on your deathbed. They say that's the place where you looking at it like, God damn, I wish I hadn't been working 65 hours a week to make this much money and not been around my. That's when you do those things, when you're on your deathbed. So it made sense. And we'll talk about how Paulie handled it later.
Yeah, I know. I feel everything he going through.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because I don't know.
Yeah, I felt that nigga. It was warranted.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So the bill lady comes to Tony's room. Very attractive lady. We think
he's the bill lady.
Yeah, the billing lady. She comes in. Tony's like, "Oh, where have you been?" Like, and he's thinking he's about to get the
hunchback.
He's about to get the April treatment. You know what I'm saying? Jackie Senior treatment. No, sir. She pretty much. she.
Hey, it's interesting commentary by David Chase as far as how they cast her. Like she's the fine, attractive woman
Yeah.
that would get your attention, but I'm here about billing.
Yeah.
Like that's what they would do at a hospital for real.
Absolutely would. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, you
like
seem nice. You look nice. You're nice on the
mm-hmm.
eyes. You here for
Facts.
this?
I'm here to get your money and get you out of here.
And Tony pretty much like she ruthless too. Like she is so ruthless. I don't know what the interview process is like when you get somebody like that because she was ruthless with it. It was like pretty much, yeah, if we didn't find your insurance card, they put your butt on the street. Like, man, get out of my room, you sick cunt.
But that's the way he was talking to her though. She was matching that energy.
Yeah, nah, but it was like the wallet biopsy. What is that? They just saying we checked your wallet.
Yeah, pretty much. So the wallet biopsy is pretty much them saying we want to. It really is what they said. It's to confirm insurance. Like, so we know because ambulance, all that stuff costs.
Mm-hmm.
So just before we do anything, we want to make sure we know exactly where to take them because we don't want to take you to we don't want to take you to this high-end hospital if you ain't got insurance or you don't have any kind of decent insurance. We ain't gonna waste our time with you. I know it sounds fucked up, but that's the business side of hospital. She is the business side of the hospital. So I know we think about y'all are heartless. I think about Carmela's mom, like this poor man. Can somebody please give him some help? His insurance is probably fucked up. And you have to make that decision where I got to turn my humanity off and look at it from the business side. Like, yeah, you fucked up. I want to help you. But as long as it ain't life or death, I think there's this code where if somebody's dying, you can actually take care of them. But at the same time, we need to know what's going on because even if we do save your life, as soon as you can get up out of here, we transfer you somewhere else. You're not our responsibility because we know we're not about to make any money from that.
Carmela walks Tony, just to get him to walk around the hospital. He's still in the healing process. Walks him in the hall, and pretty much Tony sits down, and Deluxe is crying. I'm sorry, it was just so funny because it's funny.
Hey, that shit's silly, man. That shit funny.
But it's funny because Sopranos is so brilliant in humanizing people. Like the way he's reacting, he should be reacting. It hurts. Yeah, nigga, yes. 7 slugs. That's exactly how anybody would sound. It hurts, but you don't never get that insider when rappers are like shot or people are shot and like, bro, it hurt like this. It hurts. And he sounded mad soft, but again,
this is like when Gangsta-licious went to the hospital.
See?
Nah, for real. This is exactly what it's like. It's like a Boondocks episode. That's what he sounds like. He sounds like Gangsta-licious. That's what makes it funny.
Episode ever, man.
Yeah, shout out to the best episode ever, man.
Yeah.
You okay, baby boy? Yeah, man. They did. They wasn't talking. Tony probably looks like these are motherfuckers. They say gangsters,
right? Like Paulie said, and they call themselves gangsters.
No, I think that was Chris. I'm the real OG.
Yeah.
Well,
oh no, Paulie might have. You're right.
Paulie said
right,
when he was hanging up, but then Chris elaborated on it too as well. Like I'm I'm the captain now.
He said, but it really hurts. Sure it does, baby boy.
Like that's what makes it funny because
that's real, bro.
Because it's real. Like when you in pain, bro, I don't care how tough you think you is. If you at a hospital and you in pain, bro, you're warranted to cry. You're warranted to be like, listen, I'm in pain. Look.
But it's
whoever
funny
I am when I get off of this is who I am. But right now,
it's funny to your point, Mo, because we don't. Yeah, but it's funny to your point. We never get to see that in film, right, or television. Tony got shot. We didn't see him cry. We saw him force his way to the phone, like feet lighted. We never got a moment with Tony where he was just upset or crying. Look at Paid in Full, Ace. I'm breathing different. My body different. Like he's taking it like a G. That's why Rico telling him, nigga, you tough, right? Niggas get shot every day.
Shot every day,
like, but we don't see, like, nigga, if you get shot, nigga, that shit hurt. That's why I love, I forget his name in here, but Tretch's character. That's why I love when he gets that nigga. Like, nigga, that shit hurt, nigga.
Yeah.
Took some hot shit.
I always say, y'all know what I said when I was on Kosher Garden on Bad Boys. When they came in, unfortunately, they shot the black model, and then they shot the dude that was in there, and they shot his leg. And he
Yeah.
I was like, now that is how I think it would feel to get shot. His reaction, in my mind, is how it feels. Like all these other movies and TVs making it like, nigga, damn, like nah. I think it'd be hot and hurt like that dude was reacting.
And I'll say 60% of his pain, but 40% of it's probably shock. Like the fact that I've seen people get shot in movies and TV, but the nigga just shot me for real. Like I never, most niggas, I know we watch shows about gangsters and killers, but the average American don't walk around expecting to get shot. Like niggas don't expect just to be, nigga, I did not sign up for this. Like nigga, this is, yeah.
And that's why I was like, you still got to respect in a sense, because it's like, yeah, Tony, Tony might be looking funny, but it's like, yeah, you got shot once though. This nigga got shot 7 times. Like you got to still be like, yo, it hurts. And his reaction should be worse than that. I think it should be bawling with tears, like how painful that is.
But even the conversation that they having, like, yeah, I know it hurts and shit, but you should see what it's doing to your street cred. Because remember, niggas was dogging you because you had a job. Like the fact that niggas having a job is something that they're trying to say that the rap community's frowned upon. You was frowned upon and you lost your street cred. Like that shit silly. Yeah, it's something. They said your shit is something of a problem because you had a job all those years. Like nigga, I'd rather get even the Tretch situation, bro. Paying a nigga $7,000 to shoot you.
Shoot you.
What?
Insane.
It was out here wilding, man. It was out here wilding.
This was a wild storyline. I agree. You 100% right. To be honest, this is some of my least favorite commentary from David Chase. Like him thinking like, oh, this is like what rappers are, and this is shit that they like. This is some of my. I ain't like this. I ain't like the commentary here.
You should have had a black writer in the room. You just
they did this on. That's what it's slick racist.
But they're racist to everybody. So I appreciate the equal opportunity in David.
This feels like But here's the thing, though, Mo. Here's the thing. What I'll say. This feels like unnecessary racism. All that racism is on brand and is natural. Like this was shit they say. This was a little bit extra. Like you had to write this commentary. Like you actually had to show. We didn't have to. We didn't need this in the world. But it's low key. They had to show us this.
This bothered me the most. As far as anything that's ever been in this show, it's like, come on, bro. And again, the reason that I brought up the post 50 shit, because this was after 50 Cent, and this is especially after looking at the documentary and seeing how David Chase thinks. Yeah. This is like, oh, this is how I view rappers and like black people that are gangsters. Like they're real gangsters, and he put Tony Soprano right outside the room, scoffs at him for acting like he's in pain. Like this is how I look at gangsters that I know from New Jersey growing up as David Chase versus how I look at rappers and people who pretend to be gangsters. It was some interesting commentary that he did right here.
And that's why I said the Boondocks made it. And if you're familiar with the Boondocks, it's all satirical. It's all putting that mirror back on your face. So everything he did it does. We knew what they were trying to do. It's not like it was a part of a massive storyline.
Facts.
Yeah, but it hurts. But it hurts. Yeah, baby boy, it's cool. Like, come on, man, stop this shit. Like, even the way Tony treated him, even the way Tony treated him when he invited him to the fight,
when he was in the room with the fight, like all of that,
like you beneath us, like you a rapper.
Yeah, it was like I see you, niggas,
he's been doing that. Like,
real
he
niggas.
did that because I mean, again, with Massive Genius season 1, like just doing that whole thing. They call themselves gangsters, like again, I mean, we know Massive Genius. He shot a man. Like
hey, Lord Jamar, who played the rapper who got shot, man, that nigga said some wild shit about them Biggie lyrics. I don't know if y'all seen that. He talked about Biggie and his lyrics. That nigga was going off.
You talking about when he trying to date a woman? That lyric?
Nah. He just went through this recent. I don't know how recent it was. It was just on Twitter recently, and it's funny that I literally watched this last week, the Twitter video, and then he's in the episode that we're doing. For y'all that don't know, that's Lord Jamar playing him, and obviously we'll get to the next scene mode. We introduce Tretch.
Okay.
Which I guess we can give our trivia.
Okay. So Tretch is working on a rhyme. We just gonna call him Tretch. Tretch is working on a rhyme and Bobby notices. And pretty much, Bobby's just curious.
Is this how you write a song?
Right. Just
I always wondered how it was done.
Yeah, which it sounds like it's just genuine intrigue. It's like because I'm not familiar with this culture at all. I don't listen. I don't listen to rap music. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like Bobby's just a genuine dude. So I felt like he was genuinely interested. But I don't
I
think.
agree.
But I don't think Bobby's got the intelligence to think, oh, this is about to be a play at this very moment. I think he's just in the hospital waiting and it's like genuine intrigue.
Yeah, he put it together afterwards. Maybe not on the spot, but definitely the
Oh
wheels started
no.
rolling. The wheels started rolling
Yeah,
right
when
here.
he was drinking from the water fountain, the wheels started rolling. Like,
But
this might
did
be
dude say,
something that.
man, I ain't gonna never get on at this moment?
Yeah, I ain't gonna have no
Nah, he
major because
didn't.
he did. At this
Which,
moment, he said Deluxe is supposed to produce my album. All I
yeah,
know is
you're
I
right.
ain't I ain't
Yep,
gonna
yep,
have no
yep, yep,
major
yep.
release this year. And then Tony was like, I mean, not Tony, but Bobby was like, he did that look like, might be able to help you
Okay,
out
so
with that.
maybe he did put some like once he said that statement that kind of clicked. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
You want to give the trivia about
Yeah,
Tretch?
you got some or you
Go
want me to
ahead.
say it? Oh, so you talking about the fabulous thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was spoke of. Steve Sharippa spoke to it on Talking Sopranos, but I think originally were set to cast Fabulous.
They weren't set to cast Fabulous. Fabulous shot his scenes.
He shot the scenes.
Yeah, he
So
shot
then
the
okay, well
scenes and
then give me a
everything.
little bit clear because I know something about him looking too young or something along
That
that.
yeah, it's not a crazy story. It's just we all know Tretch, of course, especially if you but Tretch is from an older generation of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he moved on to acting and things like that. So we automatically recognized him. But I think at this time in '06, when this episode dropped, if it was Fabulous, everybody would have been, oh shit, that's Fabulous. For the most part, our
Mm-hmm.
generation. Obviously
Mm-hmm.
the older crowd that was watching the show probably wouldn't care less who it was, but we would have definitely recognized it. And then looking back on it, now we are 25 years past the original episode. It's funny to think about that Fabulous was just in The Sopranos, and the fact that he shot his scenes. He talked about this on an interview on Power 105. It wasn't like with Breakfast Club or anybody, but it was with a woman. He was just saying like, y'all want to get into acting. I actually lost out a spot on Sopranos because they said I look too young. Like you around these grown men, these mobsters, and you just look like a baby. You look like you're 17 years old. It just doesn't look right on camera. And they actually shot it. They shot the scenes and everything, but they just look like, man, this don't look realistic. Like they look like they picking on you to a sense. And that's when they recast Tretch and reshot all these scenes with him and stuff like that. But it's always interesting when somebody thought about being casting. It's even more interesting when they've actually been cast, did the work, shot the scenes. I would love to see the Fabulous cutting room floor and see, how it was.
Throw them joints on YouTube, David Chase, if you have them.
Yeah, that was always interesting to me. It's almost like the one. Remember I said we talked about it. I forget which episode it was, but the FBI, the undercover chick, that guy Adriana.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about how there was a different actor that played her. And I sent y'all the YouTube clip.
Black hair.
She was only supposed to be on the episode once, and then that character turned into something more, so they had to redo the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But at least that scene is still out there on YouTube if you want to see it.
Mm-hmm. True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see something like that.
This is real random, but if you want to talk about YouTube stuff that never came to fruition, the pilot episode of the Beverly Hills Cop television series with Brandon T. Jackson, it's got French subtitles, but they speak English. That's an interesting watch, man. I would have watched that show. They only did the one episode. It's on YouTube.
I think, maybe you the one that spoke to, were you the one that spoke to it on the Culture Garden?
Yeah. When we did the Beverly Hills Cop episode.
Oh, with your boy, yeah.
Brian.
I may have Brian. That's what it is. I gotta check that out. I gotta check that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. It would have been really good TV.
Man,
it's crazy because all the articles are out there about what you're saying, but no scenes are out there. Like it never came out. It's crazy that they were able to keep that under wraps in the times that we are now.
Yeah, damn. Shout out to Fab. It's crazy because even his little label was like the family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the family.
Just all that kind of mafia, Paulie. So Paulie, his mom, gets off the bus, and Paulie talks about her lying and pretty much goes off about the fact that you basically been lying to me all my life. You my auntie, not my mama. And I just found out who my mom was, and she's dead now. And Paulie reacts. What say y'all?
This is where I would have to remove how I would feel versus watching the TV and seeing and
Okay.
understanding how the character would feel.
Okay.
I get it. I get why he's pissed off. I promise I do. However, if this is the woman, like Tony said later on, like she's bailed you out plenty of times, like she's essentially been your mother. I kind of got a soft spot and being like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand what the nun lady was saying, but you still my mom's. Like I wouldn't have been as mad as Paulie is in this moment, and that's just from a personal standpoint. But watching the show, being a viewer of the show, I understand why he was just mad. This is definitely the personality of Paulie. Like this is what he's going to do in this situation. Like fuck you, you fucked me over. Like yeah, I get it. So yeah,
Hmm.
decent scene.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. I would be upset. I'd be salty. That's what it really would be. Like, damn, man, y'all really. It would never be. I can't fuck with you no more. Because, like I
Mm-mm.
said, Paulie's 50s, 60s. Wait, come on now. Like,
Yeah,
you've been
I'll
my
say
mom
probably
my entire
pushing
life.
You've
60.
been my
Yeah.
mom my whole life.
My whole life. Like, I'm not. I'm never. I'm not gonna start calling you auntie. Like, you still gonna be mom. But damn, we gonna have to have a lot of conversations to really understand what's going on. Why you kept it with me. But I understand it's natural for him to be upset. But yanking her up, cussing her out. Even worse, she's a whore. Like all of that, bro. Like I get you angry, but that's a little bit much. But to Spike's point, that's who Paulie is.
Yeah, that's definitely
That's,
this character in the show.
yeah.
It makes sense.
I think I think if I'm Paulie, yeah, I think all the stuff is warranted. But what I would say, the cutoff is not necessary. I would say, hey, I need some time.
Yeah.
The
Cut off
cutoff
ain't necessary.
completely is just like it's kind of going a little too far. Because, but I understand it's like, bro, y'all robbed me of my identity. It's like if you've been adopted and you find out that the people that adopted you, they're not your blood. And all this time people been saying and you've been thinking, I kind of look like my dad. I kind of look like my mom. I got this from my dad. I got this from my mom. And we're talking nature versus nurture. It's like, nigga, that's why he's so upset later. Like, my whole identity, you robbed me. Y'all niggas waited till I was damn near 60. So all the things I thought I was, now it makes everything makes more sense about why I am like I am. We know that Paulie was in therapy at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I I think his reaction is warranted. Like, to me, I just don't agree with cutting her off all the way. I think you getting it off because you need to react, but you at some point need to come back and be like, all right, walk me through it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
think
it's
the reaction is warranted based off the character that we know Paulie to be.
yeah.
But you know, me and you are being reasonable as people watching this show. Inside the episode, how he acted makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does. And because Paulie don't really believe in kids. He don't really believe in
Mm-mm.
wives. He don't believe in a lot. Only thing he believe in his mom. Like that's been
Yep.
keep driving force for him. And then when you find out my
Facts.
mom ain't even my mom, nigga, I ain't got nobody.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like that's why I say I felt Paulie in that. I just felt Paulie in that.
I did. I did too.
You know what I mean? So we go to the next scene, and Bobby talks with Trex as Trex walks out as he lights a cigar, and he tells him like, "Hey, I tell you what you could do. You get shot, you can get put on. I'm a marksman." I did like the fact that he's a marksman. I think that's like probably ties back into Pine Barrens a little bit too. Like how he had the hunting gear and everything. Like he really.
Yep, it does.
It's very interesting. Like Bobby being a straight shooter or a sniper like that, but he ain't got no bodies. No bodies.
I don't think that's different from like
Nick said
if his dad
nobody's.
if his dad was the killer that we knew him to be based off the episode that we seen his dad in, him teaching Bobby how to shoot and Bobby taking interest into that, I can understand.
Fair enough.
Especially and without having no bodies. Like that's not Bobby's personality. And I think this is one of my favorite Bobby episodes in the sense of it shows how he would be able to earn not being a menacing figure like a Paulie or a Seal or a Christopher. It's like I'm gonna play my position and I'm gonna like whatever comes up to me, like I'm getting $7,000 for shooting somebody in their ass, and I can give Tony a bigger envelope, then boom, this is what I do. So I think this was a really good Bobby episode in the sense of I'm taking an alternative route to what I do. Like it ain't necessarily got to be as gangster as everybody else to do it, but I'm still gonna earn. So I liked
That'd be short lived though. I like it, but it'd be short lived.
it.
You can't be no nice guy trying to get that off because you at some point you're gonna have
No,
to turn.
I don't disagree with you.
But I do like it though. Like I thought that was really creative.
It was smart.
Creative, really smart. We go back to the hospital. Father Phil walks in and Paulie starts speaking his mind about the nuns. Tony remembers watching that show.
One of the funniest moments, of the episode.
Super.
And
the fact that Father Phil is still around is crazy.
this is the last Father Phil episode.
For real?
Rightfully so.
Yeah, this is the last Final Phil. This is the last time we see Father Phil in the entire series.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, he ain't really. There's nothing else to serve with him. Yeah, there ain't nothing else to serve. I was trying to think about some other plots, but I mean, he could have. You know what? He could have came back later. Not to spoil anything, but there's a. All right, never mind. But y'all know there's.
You say not to spoil anything, but you sound like you about to spoil.
I'm not gonna spoil nothing. But there's a
leave
scene.
it alone.
There's just a scene with Chris and Tony that would fit for Father Phil to be there. That's it. Y'all think that could have been a good fit?
We'll address it when we get there.
Okay, I just think that, but this is fine. I mean, I'm not tripping about it. He ain't a fan favorite. But yeah, Tony remembers watching this show as a kid, and Paulie tells Tony Phil's downstairs. We also meet Steve Schwinn, and Tony gets a CD signed for his son. Anything I want to add to these different sequence of events?
Just one of my favorite parts, like I said, is how's he going? He's in a lot better shape than those fucking nuns you got up there.
Right.
Like Tony just pissed, and it's the timing of it. Not Tony, but Paulie. Then obviously the Phil Leotardo part of this. Did you bring that up already?
I ain't got into the detail of it, but yeah, I brought it up. So yeah,
the Phil Leotardo part of this just okay. Got you. That's it.
Yeah, that's it for me.
So yeah, he pulls up. He said Tony Soprano, original gangster. And he's like, yeah,
whatever.
What up? Yeah,
I hate how dismissive. Like,
I did too.
It speaks to the same shit that we were talking about with David Chase. They were trying to make rap or these people that they portray as rappers when that game is like so like artificial. As black people watching The Sopranos and the perspective that we give, like it was just so like ugh.
You don't get it.
It was ugh.
Yeah, you don't get
it. It really is.
You think it's just ignorant. Like you think it's just random, like somebody got shot 7 times and there's something like kind of joke about. And this is not like a serious podcast, but you think it's just like something to joke about or make fun of in some way that he got shot. Oh, he's a rapper. So you're downplaying this whole thing, but it's like you have no idea what it's like to be a rapper. Like you have no idea where he came from to get to this point of being a rapper, which is also a businessman, and he provides for obviously that crew and all the people that he got there. So yeah, it is just one of those things. Like David Chase, we've said it before, and we've seen it in many Saints. Doesn't speak that well to like black perspective. He just doesn't do it really that well.
He doesn't.
And it's like one of those things. You should have some black people around, bro. Intelligent.
It's the fact. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Finish your point.
You just should have like go through an interview process, but you need a not just well spoken, but a well versed black person, like I'm just gonna use Michael K. Williams, rest in peace. Like I'm just using him as an example, not like as an actor, but like as an individual, or like Chadwick Boseman, somebody that you could tell they understands. What's the guy? Sterling K. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like a person in the room that like they understand the black experience all the way from this side to the other side, so you can understand nuance when you speak to those things. So you can still get your jokes off, but you at least have more of an understanding. It's like you don't have the understanding. You trust your observation so much that you believe that this is good enough because I've observed, but you're missing context.
That's a great point that you bring up. You trust your observation so much as David Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, again, I love the fact that we're able to do this as black men reviewing this podcast.
Mhm.
And we love a lot of this show. And even when
Yeah.
they try to be racist, it's not as offensive as this is,
Mhm.
because this is more dismissive than it is anything.
Mhm.
This is more so saying that, oh, Tony Soprano is a real gangster. I see you guys on TV. I see you guys rapping and acting like gangsters, and you're not really gangsters. And that's really being dismissive of hip hop culture, black culture, or the people who, quite frankly, live that life.
Mhm.
Like Tony Soprano, not the only gangster in the world. David Chase was portraying this as if rappers acted like Tony Soprano, not knowing that there were gangsters in their own community. Like he portrayed this as if everything that you guys do is based off, oh, these real gangsters that are doing organized crime over here. And it came off really dismissive.
Yeah. Like
Like
it's a
as
joke.
speaking from this as a black podcast that does the Sopranos, everything else is good. Like we get the jokes, we understand everything else that goes on with Noah and all the stuff that the black jokes. Yes, it's funny,
Mhm.
but this was probably the most offensive in the sense of it's like, oh, you're really trying to dismiss our culture, and act like, oh no, this don't even really happen in a community. They just acting like shit they see on the news, and that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you nailing it. What say you, Rich?
That man just said it all. What you want me to say?
Man, no doubt. That's what I said. Yeah, it
only
is. Yeah.
the only thing I'll say about it is I think it might be, and I spoke about this a couple weeks ago. It's one of those reminders that Tony Soprano is in a real world, and there are people. Even though we don't get too many civilians, there are civilians out there who know who he is. Even though we get to see him as a regular person, like this dude that's supposed to be the gangster, acknowledge him. You know, original G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. Like, but still, like your name ring out in real life, not whatever it is. You the celebrity, and I'm the real celebrity, but you a celebrity to me. I just think they were trying to push that narrative, but everything Spike said is spot on because it is. It's one of those things where you feel like you shouldn't care as much as you do, but it still bothers you. Like it
But
shouldn't
it
bother
just
me as much as
bothers
me
you.
does, but it does bother me
Yeah,
because the show's better than
this is
that too.
probably,
That's another reason why.
and it is. This is probably the most, anything that bothers me the most about the racism that they did. This is it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's the thing too. I think that's a good point because I've accepted and laughed at so much.
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it makes sense, like I said, but this one just felt forced. Like you intentionally went out of your way to make it painted like this.
I would still say the HUD scam, that whole episode, I would say for me was a little bit. I was more bothered with that than this, to be honest. This completely like you're way out of your league. I didn't even take
What
you
about the
serious.
hood scam bother you more than this?
I it. I, yeah, I know I spoke. I was just like, could y'all find some better looking black people? That's the first thing.
Yeah, you did.
Like,
You
yeah,
did.
it's
He
like,
was
Come on,
salty,
man.
man.
like listen, and then
That's
the nigga had
different.
my name and everything. Like,
But no, like just the premise, the overall premise of this irritates me more than anything I see in The Sopranos, with the Noah situation, with the HUD
let
scheme
me ask this.
situation. This was the one that was like, y'all really don't know black people.
Okay, so let me ask this. They did a rapper concept in the first season. They're doing a rapper concept in the last season.
Yeah.
Did anything bother you with a hit as a hit? Like as far as how
No.
they portrayed Massive Genius and his crew and him being a record exec and being formerly an artist and him trying to get reparations for
Bother me in what way? Like, what do you mean?
like did you feel like they played that wrong as far as like you really don't understand black people?
It was acceptable coming from white people.
okay.
Like I'm watching a show that I know is made by white people, is based around white people. So it was acceptable them having that stance and that premise is like, okay, this is how it will be. I don't think this is acceptable. This isn't acceptable in the sense that, oh, most of you guys out here that are rapping, or all of you guys out here that are rapping are playing gangster. And then there are real gangsters around and you look different in front of them. And I just don't think that's the case. Like it's a lot of real gangsters that are rappers. It's a lot of real people in that field that have just as much experience as Tony Soprano. Maybe these two dudes wasn't the ones. That's
Get
fine
an
with me. Yeah, but they were acting like all of you niggas are like this.
Get an
That's how I
ESTG.
took. Exactly.
His home,
Get a
his homes.
Yeezy,
He can't even
get a Gucci
book a show.
man.
ESCG can't even book a show in his city because they said,
Exactly.
"Hell, no, we ain't paying that insurance, nigga." So if you have a show in this city, somebody's going to get shot and die.
Yeah,
That's how much in the streets he was.
These scenes portrayed it like, okay, all of you niggas are pretenders, and that's just not the case.
And they kind of echoed that in the initial too. Like they, like again, Paulie was saying, they call themselves gangster. You know,
exactly. It was a lot of stuff that led into it as well. You're right.
And again, I get in comparison to the mob, yes, they're looking at it like, oh, nigga, we are organized crime. We really whack people for real. Like we have a setup. I get it in comparison, but
that's cool. But don't act like it ain't people in the rap world that don't speak.
Do that. But that was the issue, and that's part of why Many Saints didn't work. It's a small, minuscule, but David Chase had always echoed. He thought it would be interesting to speak to that element going on while the mob was going on, and that's why it didn't work, because you don't understand. You should have a conversation. Exactly. You see, we're more complex than you give us credit for, and you should really have a conversation with somebody that is well versed. It's your like us. We're reviewing the show, and even then, we off. We could be off. We don't know Italian culture. We don't know white culture fully, or we don't know Asian culture. We don't know, like, we're just giving our observation, but these are not facts, and people can educate us by emailing us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. And that's the same thing with David Chase in this sense, was like, that would have worked if you had gotten more context on this is how black people are, because you really don't know. This is an observational standpoint, and I'm not taking it like this is facts, but you definitely getting some minstrel show type vibes off.
Facts. And everything that you said is 100% correct. Like, also too is, don't act like we they're acting like in these scenes that they're doing with him and the fleshy part of the thigh shot, like, oh, all of these people are like that, and that's just not the case. Like, there are rappers and people in that field that you can find that, like, no, they just as gangster as Tony Soprano. Like, we know that, us three, as listening to rap music and observing the culture, but everybody doesn't know that. And it seemed like he was portraying to the more like, oh, this is fake. They doing this for pretend. It's not a real thing. And it just came off the wrong way.
Yeah, they just didn't get they got it wrong. I'm sorry. That's just the bottom line. I didn't get that right. That's just what it is, bro.
Facts.
Yeah. So go to the next scene. Well, I guess it's kind of a small scene, but Tony and Phil meet. Tony and Phil meet, and they have a conversation about the deal. Tony wants 25% of Barone's sale, and he wants some perks. Obviously, wanting to keep his W-2 and trying to figure out the insurance situation. My question to y'all is, why was Phil so smiley? That was just a weird thing that I had noticed. He was just like,
because I'm still in the middle, man. I ain't got to take responsibility for none of this shit. Like, I still can blame this shit on John. And if it's some shit that you come back to me that's good, I still can take credit for it. I'm the middleman. I ain't the man right now. Everything that you tell me, I can manipulate in a source that I ain't got to take responsibility for it. And that's the reason that he was peacocking right here. Like, I'm just in the middle.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it was. I don't got no responsibility of bearing. Y'all beef is y'all beef. I'm just delivering the message. The only reason I'm here is because John locked up.
One thing I want to say,
and
too. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna fall real quick. His role, I represent John Sacramone. Like, I'm not here to side with you. So, like, I have enough liberty, because remember, Phil's old school. He's not gonna talk out of turn, but I got enough liberty to tell you, hey, man, come on. Like, John said this a lot worse. When he said, come on, you were 25% of sale and skim out the top, come on. John said that in a much more aggressive manner. So he's still playing it like cordial because if anybody says like I was hostile, no, I wasn't. Yeah, multiple people there. I can tell you I wasn't hostile.
Yeah.
He was being a dickhead, but he definitely wasn't hostile.
True. What I think too is very interesting is just how complicated this is. Tony is the boss of the family. And we're going to see this same sentiment echoed throughout this season 6A and B. It's very complicated to be like sick and like, still like recovering, but you got to look a certain way and you're still in the gown. Only Tony Soprano getting that off. Nobody could do that where you still be like, hey, I still need to be careful because this nigga may not can jump on me right now if I get out of pocket. But I'm for sure he gonna rest up and get healed, and when he can, it's on. Because he still got a menacing vibe to him, even though he's in the hospital gown. You know what I mean? So it's
That's
just
a good point.
It's a very complicated thing. It's like, yo, help me out. And think about the preparation. I'm the boss. I'm sick. Like we'll see later, he gonna throw up and vomit. You know what I mean? Because of like just how sick he is. But like in this moment, it's like it's so much preparation so that when he goes back to report, I gotta look a certain way. I gotta talk a certain way. I gotta know certain things. That's why he leaning on Paulie like for certain. I just came out of a coma, nigga. Like
he has no business being down here.
He has no business. So I really respected the preparation that goes into something like this because, like, that's why Tony got to be the greatest Jersey boss by far.
No, even bosses in general, Mo. I think that's a great point that you bring up because, as you said, like Johnny Sack, after this had happened to him, he wouldn't be down there doing this. Like even with my man who was in charge before Tony, like what's Jackie? Jackie wouldn't have did this. This is a Tony thing. This is I'm taking the New Jersey mob to the next level, and y'all are not about to fuck me over just because my uncle shot me in the stomach. Like that's not going to happen. And I think the fortitude that he has to go out here and do this shows as to this what this whole show is about. Like anybody, like Junior could have been in charge. Anybody else could have been in charge. It wouldn't have went the way that it would have went for Tony. But I am Tony. Yeah, so yeah, I just got shot in the chest. I was just in a coma, but yeah, I'm right here meeting with you because y'all got me fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that takes New Jersey from a glorified crew to what Tony made them. Great point out by you, Mo, and great scene, I think, by the show.
Right on. He's a problem. Time to show that you're a problem.
Y'all can't do me any kind of way.
Yeah, why you treat me like I ain't something to worry about?
Yeah, like come on, bro.
Shout out to Chris. It's one of my favorite scenes. I wish I was on the show. Yeah, I wouldn't even know good under when y'all did that.
Something. We gotta figure out something. We might have to do just a back of being of when you wasn't here. Just get your ratings on all of those somehow. That way, we will have to do something like that. So when we do the best episode ever, then
that's fair.
We'll figure out like we'll work that in there. But yeah, damn, that
would be great. That would be great. And even how Phil was responding to him. Like, I'm calling y'all a glorified crew with John and the rest of my guys, but I'm looking at you out here with IV fucking packs on you and barely dressed, and you still conducting business. Like Phil gotta respect that.
Oh, he respect.
I was gonna say Phil 1,000%. He knows exactly what it was. As a matter of fact, I'll even go to the fact of saying if that was somebody from a different generation, Tony probably would have stayed upstairs. I don't know, because maybe Tony. Never mind, because that might take away from you just said Spike, or that's Tony being Tony. That's a Tony Soprano thing. Like I don't want to look weak. I don't care who is in front of.
We'll see a later scene that really expounds on that. So I think you're hitting it on the nose because he's going to really expound on. I can't let you. I can't let you look at me a certain way. And I think, and it's amazing because you think Tony, how much Tony respected Phil. In fact, like he's old school. He's like, nah, he really holds the code. And now this is probably a moment where Phil respected Tony. You know what I mean? Just seeing how he give it up like that. And then you got to think, Tony didn't allow nobody from New York to visit him until now.
Yeah.
That's a subtle thing that we didn't see, but we understand that obviously still probably was on like, hey, nobody can come and visit Tony. No condolences, no nothing. Now, when you see me, I'm up.
Which is ironic because at the end of the season, not this season, but the first part of season 6, we got Tony making an unannounced visit to somebody in New York. And they was all looking at him crazy. And look at the fuck you doing here?
Yeah.
Hell no, I ain't coming outside.
Exactly. That's funny. We get Tony.
This episode kind of start all that, man.
Hey, no,
garbage beef. Like it starts all of
the beginning.
We're getting there. Tony and Paulie, they talk about Paulie losing his Aunt Dottie, and they meet with the paramedic. Did the paramedic actually steal Tony's money?
No, that's a hustle.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nigga. Like they say, you went in my wallet. I said you stole 2,000, nigga. You owe me. And what the fuck you gonna do about it?
And what you gonna do exactly?
That's all that was. That was free money.
And then Carmela comes in and AJ says that mom apologized and AJ got a job.
Shit.
Shut up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Blockbuster.
Shut up, nigga.
The Blockbuster.
Yeah, brokey. I'm not gonna even go into. I haven't given AJ too much energy and smoke. I ain't doing it this episode. I just want to say, shut up, mom. Apologize. Now get out of here.
I can't believe they really. I mean, I believe it. I don't want to say I can't believe it, but the fact that they really located this paramedic and pressed him like this is crazy.
It is, and I believe that nigga really stole.
And he didn't do anything.
This is racist too.
You thought he stole something?
This is racist. It's another racist moment.
Mo, you thought he took the money?
I did, yeah. Because I just thought that it was like like even civilians do dirty stuff from time to time. But yeah, I mean, I could be.
That's a love. I would love to hear people write in about that.
Yeah.
If you thought he took it or not?
I don't think he did. Yeah, I think
I think he did. That's the only reason I think he came back and did. Because
we got you. We got you admitting that you went in my wallet. So, nigga, I'm a gangster. If I said you took $2K, you took $2K.
Yeah, I got about $250.
Yeah.
We go to the next scene. The guys are watching a boxing pay-per-view.
It was dog and Tretch.
Listen, Paulie speaks about family doing you dirty. Schwinn breaks down entities and physics. And this is the scene that had me real life laughing. Like I was in tears laughing. Tretch holding up.
Hold the motherfucker steady.
Bro, lift it up, nigga. Like, bro.
Lift it up, nigga.
When he said
it was
that,
on his ass, bro.
Bro, because I always forget the little details. Bro, I was crying taking these notes at this point. Because, like, you're such a lackey. Like, you don't get to enjoy yourself. You're the little homie for real. Not on hold the satellite. After a while, like, he get frustrated, like, man, forget your satellite, nigga. Like, but he said, lift it up, nigga. Like, bro, oh my
listen,
gosh, I was real life crying in tears laughing.
I would have been like Mace on It Is What It Is, like talking about Jay Prince. We not your little niggas. Yeah. Like, I don't know, we not your little niggas. Like, all this big homie, like, there's no way. Nah, bro. And you laid up and you laid up talking to me like that. Like, what's crazy is I'm trying to rap to this shorty. She pouring a little drink in my cup, and I'm trying to rap cup with one hand and holding my other hand with the satellite. Getting yelled at. Like, nigga, hold it up, nigga. Hold it steady, motherfucker. Come on, man. Stop playing with me.
But it's like he's this close to like a record deal.
I don't give a fuck about that record deal, bro. Stop.
It depends on the type of person. Like, I'm not saying I would tolerate that, but like he's like this close. Like, if you ever had to like cross over to something, or you're like this close, and now you got to deal with like a little bit of BS. You know what I mean? Like, you're right there. Like, I've been rocking, and this is the moment. It's kind of like,
and I gotta shout out Shorty when she walked over like with the bottle to pour him up. Her outfit screams G Unit video. It screams 2006.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it's insane what we was dressing like back in 2006, man.
Bro, I just hear Candy Shop beating my head.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, you're right, bro. That skirt is wild.
The whole get up.
Yeah, the whole get up. But yeah,
this nigga really holding the satellite, man. Y'all gotta be fucked up.
That's crazy. What did y'all think about Schwinn with the entities and physics and everything about they think it's two separate things, but it's all encompassing. And then of course, the rapper Deluxe says everything is everything.
I think it was bullshit. I think that was like we're trying to attribute meaning to everything that we're doing with the dream sequences and everything that's going on. And we want to add this little doctor in here, and he's going to give some insight because he's a rocket
Rocket
scientist.
science,
Like,
huh?
come on, bro, like get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I'm David Chase is a great creator, but you ain't that much smarter than me, bro. Like I ain't buying all the I'm not buying all the bullshit. Like you're trying to trinkle this in here and make me think wiser about the Sopranos. It's just not the case. Like they were trying to be too deep, and I didn't like it.
We never, you know what it is too. And this is why y'all get used to it. This is why you need you need a black writer in the room
Yes,
or consultant, because one thing black people do best, I'm not gonna say they do it better than everybody because everybody will feel that same way. One thing black people do really well is subtlety. We do really out loud and in your face, and then we also have the other side of us that real subtle. We can look at each other and know. Shout out to the blackening. We could look at each
Mm-hmm.
other and know what that means without saying anything.
facts.
One thing that we
The
noticed that
unwritten black laws.
yeah, one
Mm-hmm.
thing we noticed with David Chase, everything that you're saying, Spike, it's this thing where you're trying not to be heavy-handed by giving a lot of things going on so it doesn't feel heavy-handed, but it always feels heavy-handed. Just like
Yep.
on the Columbus episode about you trying to get the Christopher episode, you're trying to get us to these people feel this way, these people protesting this.
We
It felt
we
like
don't.
all of a sudden now y'all care about something, and then we come here, we're dealing with now we're trying to deal with like Christianity, or we're dealing with Scientology, or we're just dealing with non-belief or whatever it is. It doesn't feel subtle as you're trying to present it. Like, and you think it
Facts.
feels like, oh, we're just making it generalized. We're gonna throw some jokes in there to break up the intentionality of it so it don't feel so heavy-handed, but it still feels heavy-handed. And that could
Facts.
just be us being black because we have a different gauge for subtlety. Like our subtlety is like it would have been something different where it's not gonna be this everybody be quiet, Schwinn talks. It would have been like Schwinn is saying one thing and we can hear him, and then somebody else over here is
And
talking
we
too.
looking at each other like this nigga full of
Yeah,
shit.
right. So we're doing the two conversation things are happening when you see people write it
Yep.
like that, and like you got to kind of rewind because I was like, wait, let me listen to this conversation over here. Let me listen to this over here. So it's just one of them things like it's trying to be subtle, but it's not really that subtle. This episode is very heavy handed. These 4 episodes are really heavy handed in regards to observational belief, to me. So
It's a great point. It is one of those things. Only 2 cents I'll add is one of those things. Like I believe that he believes that. I believe that there are people out there that believe that. I also
mm-hmm.
believe that there are people who will never. Both sides will never see each other.
Yeah,
like nobody. If you don't believe it, you're never gonna believe it.
that's right.
And if you don't believe the other side, you're never gonna believe that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's cool that y'all put it in here, but it really ain't got shit to do with shit.
I don't know. I guess it's just in this world.
Facts.
In this world, I would prefer y'all visit other territory. I guess that's probably more than anything. I think subtlety, I could be more subtle, but again, it is what it is. It already exists. It's a classic, one arguably the greatest show. But I would prefer y'all visit different concepts. You know what I'm saying? I would have liked to see Bobby and Janice, like a full episode of them two trying to figure out like what the dynamics of that is. You know, like
True.
you know,
Yeah. I need any of this.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. All this is like it's cool. I get it. Tony's trying to figure things out. It fits. It fits. Like don't get me wrong, it fits. But again,
It's cool.
but yeah,
It didn't do. It didn't do. It does
does nothing.
nothing for me
Yeah,
as someone who watches The Sopranos. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
me
I
too.
agree with you there.
Me too. But I get it. We go to the next scene. There's a few scenes that kind of sweep through a little bit. So Phil and Johnny meet and settles with Tony at this moment for 2 years of health insurance in the W-2s. Then we got another scene. Tony does like it and snaps and he doesn't like it. He throws up, snapping about the deal, and he sends the boys. Between them two scenes, is there anything I want to add before I keep it moving?
I think it was good showing Phil's character when he went to go talk to Johnny. and Johnny was like giving him all these like, I feel this type of way. He had the same disposition that he had with Tony. It's like bro, I'm just telling you what he said. And that goes so great into the Phil Leotardo character that we see later in this season. It's like, I'm not taking sides. I'm only presenting to you. I'm doing what I've been told because I respect this thing so much.
Yeah.
I think that was great.
Great point.
Absolutely. I just said the same thing. That's if you're gonna show the meeting with Tony, you got to show the meeting with John.
Facts.
And I think that just showing how passionate Tony is, even he's so passionate he throws up. You know.
And even Paulie has the Phil moment too in this moment where he's like, I'm only telling you what he told me.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, we messengers. I don't know what else to tell you, bro. I ain't say it.
I can't make no deals on your behalf, bro.
Yeah. Fair enough. We get the next scene, Paulie and Patsy, they meet Jason Barone and say that it's coming out at this moment. I think they're saying it's coming out your end. Is this where they say that? And they tell him like, hey, look, you're a swimmer or a person that
ski instructor.
Remember
they say he lived in Deer Valley, and that's another thing about Jason. Earlier they mentioned, what you living in Deer Valley now? That's in Utah. He in Salt Lake. And nigga, you don't even live here. You don't know the politics. No, none of this.
Don't even like you bugging.
Yeah, you ever trying to sell businesses, bro? Like, nah, man. Go back to where it's safe.
Go back to your freaking hole.
Question: what would you guys have done if y'all was Jason?
Honestly, I still think Jason's doing the right thing. I think though, when this moment happens, where Paulie's coming and Patsy's coming behind him, and they're saying like, hey, look, you're an instructor. You need your knees. You need your. So at that point, I'm starting to pick up like Tony already said, I don't want to see you get hurt. Then Paulie echoes that right at the end. Yeah, Tony don't want to see you get hurt. At that point, it's like, okay, let's work out an agreement here so that I can get a payout for my mom.
Wouldn't even got here with me. Tony told me off rip. Here's where Jason fucked up is he continued with the sell. Like, even if I don't know nothing about nothing, right? Even if I underestimate who Tony Soprano is, who all these characters are. Remember, Anthony Sopranos, it took him a minute to register. Oh, Tony? Like, nigga, he knows him as his dad's friend. They went to a ball game together. He don't know the gangster for real. Like, right. But there was something about that meeting that, even out of respect, if you're telling me to wait, then I'm going to wait. I'm going to at least run it by you before I actually make the deal. Or I'll at least ask questions about, or I might at least ask, like, why is this so important? Like, I have this great deal on the table. Why can't I just take it? Like, are you going to find me a better deal and listen to Tony? Because gangsters will never tell you exactly what it is, especially if you're a civilian. They'll tell you without telling. So I don't think me coming from the outside looking in, I bet I'm looking at mom's, or I go to my mom too. It's like, man, Tony Soprano guy told me I should wait. Like, what are we looking like financially? There would have been a lot more conversation. I would have been a lot more inquisitive because, as I mentioned earlier, with the rapper who got shot, Laura Jamar's character,
Deluxe.
People know who Tony Soprano is. Civilians know who he is, right? It can't be that much of a secret that Tony Soprano, even if you put the dots together.
Yeah.
Why is this dude just got shot? And he just got shot. It's in the paper. Like, you got to know why he in the hospital. It ain't because I'm in here with the flu. So, bro, these are serious people. Like, let me get a little bit more information before I pull the trigger and start a shitstorm, which ends up happening. Like, it wouldn't even got to this point. And ain't nobody visiting me on the boat because I'm waiting until Tony got to the hospital. Like, mom, you got to wait. And especially, mom, you know how it is. We see at the end, we don't know it now. At the end of the episode, she knows how this works. She probably would have told him if he brought this to her, she would have said, all right, listen to Tony.
Yeah. We'll go to the next scene.
They could talk about contracts. Nigga, fuck out of here.
Yeah. He really, but I mean, not once you get the context, it's like, okay, I got to look at it different. Like, okay, he just didn't know. He just genuinely didn't know.
Johnny Sack, who?
Exactly. So Jason tries to get it out of Chinelli and fails.
Hey, is Chinelli a gangster?
Yeah,
Was he just a regular ass Jersey nigga?
He a regular Jersey nigga. Like, I got more clout than you do.
I know Chinelli looked like a gangster.
Facts.
He probably grew up around him. Like,
Well, I was just talking to before we started recording. I was talking to Spike
just
about me being in Jersey, and that's just how Jersey. That like me being in Jersey, hanging in local. I wasn't at like no glitzy gentrified shit. I was in a Jersey bar that's been there since the 50s. Like that's how they are.
I love that.
That's how Jersey people talk to you. Yeah, nah, for real, man.
Yeah.
I
Stop
love
playing
history.
with me.
I love
Yeah,
history.
that's how it
Stop
is.
playing with me, Like
I got
that's
cussed
what
out.
dude was telling him on the golf course. Stop playing with me. I don't give a fuck about your dad, your moms. I don't give a fuck about what Tony say.
Tony
Me and you
Soprano.
made a deal. Like none of that shit matter. Stop playing with me.
And I'm about to walk off and play this 18 because I don't give a fuck about what you got to say next.
Great point, Rich. And I'm gonna go about my normal fucking day. Fuck you.
Yeah, figure it out, bro. Figure it out.
Hey, the fuck you walk away is classic.
Hey,
Yeah.
bro, that's
because there ain't shit you can do about it.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Yeah. I'm weak.
Tony and Paulie, they talk, and he shares that that his aunt was his mom, and he doesn't know who he is anymore. This is where the theory that Fagoli is possibly Paulie's dad. Remember we talked about it on Marco Polo?
Russ Fagoli.
Remember when Hugh Russ was the hater that was stepping on Hugh having the gun, the old white dude or whatever. So this is where the theory came from that maybe his name was Russ.
She said that?
Who?
No, she just said
his name was Russ.
She said his name was Russ. A soldier.
Yeah, he was a soldier. And then the fact that Russ Fagoli was like a soldier or somebody in that field, people theorized that was Paulie's dad.
It's not crazy. It's like in The Wire with old, Randy Wagstaff, Cheese Wagstaff.
And Cheese.
Yeah, they never discussed it in the show, but just fan theory and putting the pieces together.
I love a good fan theory.
I do too. I agree with you, Mo, but I don't care.
No, it don't matter.
I don't give a fuck who Paulie's dad is. I don't give a fuck who his mom is. Like, if we're being 100% honest as people who watch this show, like, yes, I get what you were trying to do with this storyline, but it don't matter to us. In the overall scheme of things, it don't matter.
Yeah, again, it's probably tying it to like the belief and all that, identity. Resident, whatever that other stuff is. But yeah. So let me see. So after that, Chanelli takes over the Barone route, and Pop gets worked in front of his grandson.
Pop is crazy. Calling that man Pop is crazy. But then,
so yeah, anything I want to.
They had to show this scene to let you know, because the average person doesn't know. Yeah. The average person might be thinking it's garbage trucks. Like, people pick up garbage all the time and don't know that there is real life repercussions for this. And it just like I said earlier, this is actually starting the bigger picture of the rest of the series.
The New York, Jersey thing.
Yeah, and it all revolves around trucking, garbage disposal, waste management, the whole nine. So they just had to show this. This shit getting real.
Yeah, it's a deep conversation to have that too, because at the end, it's like the rackets get smaller, but we'll wait till we get to the Patsy scene later in the series. But yeah, so yeah, he get worked, and his grandson come out there to check on him. We'll go to our next scene.
Fucked up, man.
Paulie comes and sees his mom, aka his aunt, and he expresses. Then he's pretty much like almost on some. You're not staying here. Not only that, give me that TV. He threw it out the window. Anything I want to add to that scene?
It's fucked up, man. I understand being mad, man. Come on, that's OD.
It is a little OD. I will say
that's OD, man. And leaving them crying, like I don't like, especially older people, especially older women, like seeing them cry over something that they feel terrible about, because they don't have much time to like really. Obviously, we never know how much time we have, but. Yeah. It's a certainty that even if they live a long life, they only got so many years of it left. So Sarah sobbing like that was really sad. Like, damn, man. Like, Paulie, relax.
It's like, but damn, I'm almost 60, bro.
That nigga took the $2,000 television. Like, take it home with you, bruh. You that mad?
That man threw it out the window.
With the
I
screen
agree with
still on the
y'all.
window.
If I
It
can't
makes
have you,
sense.
nobody can.
It makes sense for Paulie Warner's character. Still though, it felt nasty.
This was
It
nasty.
felt it felt nasty. Like this was one of those things. Like I fuck with Paulie, but even when Tony tried to explain it to him later, like, come on, bro. Like, how many times she bailed you out of jail? Like that may not be your biological mother, but like she been there for you every chance that she needed to be, or every step of the way. So for him to react this way,
He just
it
needed a
adds
moment.
it adds a lot to what we see from Paulie later on in this series.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I just think he just needed a moment. He didn't know how to react because he's not in therapy.
True.
You know what I mean? He just needed a moment to figure.
Nobody can talk to him about this.
Exactly, because later on I'll ask you, like, when he collected money, was that for Dottie? I mean, or was that for his mom? So
True.
So yeah. We go to the next thing. Tony and Paulie snap on Jason for the Chinelli situation. Saying like they had it handled, they had it taken care of, and it's getting ugly for Jason. You know, obviously. Anything I want to add to the scene?
Yeah, I don't know who you playing with, who you consulting with. I'm the person you need to be talking to.
Much it. Told you not to make that deal. Now look what you done did, man. You worse than my son.
Up. Yeah, now you done fucked up.
Fair? It's not fair. Like, just reiterating, Jason has no idea what he got himself into yet. This ain't got nothing to do with fair, bro. Deserve, to quote Snoop, deserve got nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with
it. Do.
DW.
That's good.
You make me sick, you fucking baby.
Man. Trex and Bobby meet about him getting shot for $7,000.
This is the lot.
This is why Spike feels what he feels.
The thought process of this. This is insane. When you look at this from a normal, if your homie came up to you and said, "Hey man, I'm trying to," because we live in that society now, especially in 2024, right?
Exactly.
The viral culture, right? So we see people crashing out and doing wild shit just for that. It ain't even 15 minutes of fame no more. It's 10 seconds. We see people do that shit for 10 seconds of fame, but to actually, you asked me for 8, I'm only giving you 7, which means either A, he a smart guy, or it don't matter what the number is, 7 G's to get shot.
In the ass.
Like, I can't believe that somebody would pay that. That does not make sense to me.
It's just not realistic, bro. It's not realistic.
If my homie came up and said, if my homie came up to me and said, I'm about to pay somebody $7,000 to get shot, I'm gonna say I'll do it for 3. If you're gonna do that dumb shit, nigga, you might as well keep it in the family, and I'll do it for 3. I'll give you a discount, nigga.
I think this is another David Chase thing. We're looking at this as people of black culture, like, nah, that's not possible, bro. That would never happen. And him looking at it like, oh, I assume this is how this happens. And us just being like, oh, okay, cool. You're a good movie maker. You're a good filmmaker. You're a good TV maker. Okay, like, we'll let you get this off. But no, it would never happen. This is one of those things where, like, us as black people reviewing this show can say, nah, nope.
That's crazy. This would have worked better in this scene for Fab if he was like, because then he's like a young clout chaser. It don't work well.
It actually
good point. I mean?
Great point.
Great point, Mo. That's a
like, oh, okay, it's a young boy trying to get on. He needs that shot too, like his OG.
Exactly. He's saying this nigga is his producer, and like, bro, none of it makes sense.
Nah,
you're
just
grown
entertainment.
Man.
Like, it's just entertaining. That's it.
Yeah.
Tony and Chris talk, and then Hesh pulls up. Tony talks about how they're insignificant in comparison to what he was reading, and Christopher says he doesn't feel that way. The pastor shows up and he offers Tony to join the church and debates about dinosaurs and the live experience. Do y'all feel? One question I have is, do y'all feel like it was heavy-handed with this evangelist guy?
Yeah, I think a
Nah.
lot of these scenes in the episode was pretty much like we get it. The connecting dots. If you're into that stuff, I'm sure it's interesting. But if you're just a watcher of The Sopranos, I don't study Catholicism. I'm not an evangelist. I'm not Jewish. Like that's a whole conversation that I just don't feel qualified to be a part of. So I don't even want to comment on it. And that's how I feel about viewing it. Like they're just trying to point this over the head. There's no reason why we had to see this evangelist twice. No reason.
Nah. He ain't add nothing to anything.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even think twice about it, Mo. Till you called me out in the beginning of the episode. It was like, please don't do this. Like I didn't even think twice about it until you said that, and like he never really, it never struck a chord for me. Like it wasn't a major part of what this show has going on. Like you made me pay attention to it more when you was like, please don't do this.
All right, take it easy.
Nigga said, nah, that's how it came off. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, damn.
All right, take it easy. See
that animal Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
See, now y'all got the David Chase observation.
No,
now y'all
I'm
got
just
your
saying,
David Chase glasses on.
Mo, I love you, and I understand what you're saying when you thought that I may have a lot to say about this, but I didn't even think about it until you said it.
Get that off for less. That's why
you're right, and that's what I'm saying. Like you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you in that, but dude was so weak of a character, and it was so weak of a storyline. Like it never even it never even crossed my mind until you said it, and I was like, oh, okay, I can see what he says that. Because you and I have had a lot of more personal conversations
of course,
about that in sense of, but other than that, like I was looking at like
it's just a weak character.
This was a fast forward. Yeah, like I would fast forward this. Like it was nothing.
Even we've talked. That was a great point. We've even talked. That's Mo, you funny, man. That's
the disclaimer was crazy. I was slick offended.
As an observer, as an observer,
you shouldn't be.
I'll tell you,
don't
I was
listen to yourself.
Offended.
You don't listen to yourself. That's why you shouldn't.
That's not. That's not.
I was offended. I was offended in the sense that you thought that I was gonna go crazy on him, and it never even registered to me. Like he wasn't even the person to go crazy on.
It's like the homie that fuck up the 2-man when you give him that speech. Like, hey, before we go in here, just gonna let me know you like when you said like, damn, bro, what type of nigga you think I am? Like, it was observed. I know you didn't mean no harm. That's why it's cool. I know you didn't mean no harm.
Yeah,
it was funny to observe
about it. And
y'all are so funny.
As he was saying that, I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, did I miss it?
Remember Friday after? Hey, remember Friday after next before they get out for that security job? Hey, we ain't cops. We ain't America's most. We ain't none of that. Nigga, we just 2 niggas with a whistle. Like, hey, give him the speech. Hey, before we press play,
I was struck in the back when he said that to me. I was like, "Damn, what? Did I miss something?"
Yeah,
and
I
thought I was slipping on being Spike Lee. You gotta
go back to some episodes on book 1. Like you, that's.
No. Mo, that part is right. You are absolutely right.
I ain't disagreeing with you on that.
Thought. Like, it wasn't even a theme.
I want you to understand, Mo. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm just saying this dude's character.
Oh, you just had no.
It never even registered. It was
right,
never
though.
even. Yeah, it was never even a thing. Like, oh yeah, like exactly.
They tried to like lead with this guy,
and it didn't work.
He gives the vibe, like you said, like as far as the evangelist type dude, but the more you say it was like, the heavy handedness. It always.
He was never serious to me.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say as we can close this scene out is another thing that lets you know it's forced. He put Hesh in this scene to bring in that Jewish aspect of it. He's trying to force this conversation.
Facts.
Yeah.
Not saying it couldn't happen in real life, not saying it's not realistic,
Facts,
but you purposely wrote this in to have Hesh in there. So now you have an evangelist, you have somebody who doesn't believe, and then that leads into him having a conversation with Schwinn. And Tony telling him, well, I know the guy I know said you're going to hell for thinking like that. It was just all right, we get it. Like you said, Mo, to the Christopher episode.
Yeah.
And a little bit too much.
Yeah, and then it's like the dinosaur thing that whole setup was like Carmela gave him the Encyclopedia Dinosaur because that's the only book they had. Just get to this moment where he goes into it and it didn't fit. it didn't fit. Like he's like, oh yeah, dinosaurs. Yeah, people say this and this. It didn't even fit. Like if you're trying to convert somebody or you're trying to get them to be interested in your belief, this is not time for creating debatable moments. This is the time to keep doubling down on, hey, look, I believe this could be a great change for you. You should consider these things. Matter of fact, let me holler at you. Why don't you pull up? This is not so. It definitely, again, it just feels like he's interested in these themes, but it's not done that great. In my opinion. But again, this show is up for interpretation. Everybody watch it will get a different interpretation and feel differently about everything. So, but yeah, the whole Hesh setup was, and the dinosaur setup was like, I mean, it wasn't lazy at all. Like it wasn't lazy. It was well thought out. But you watching it, you can see it clear as day now. Vito walks Tony to Schwinn's room. Tony talks with Schwinn, and we find out he's dying. It seems like Tony is trying to get an understanding of what he witnessed in the coma. Tony and Paulie talk about his mom, and Tony tells Paulie he has to get behind this petty bullshit. Anything I want to add to that?
Good advice, man. That's what he needed to hear, man. He's like, you tripping.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
so.
you tripping, bro. Like, that's still your mom. Like, that's still, I understand you being upset. Same with what we've been saying all episode. We get it. I'm not saying Paulie's wrong for being upset. And, bro, you look crazy as that kid says, at your big age, going off about this. You throwing a tantrum. I understand being pissed off, being upset. I get that. But throwing a tantrum about it and cutting her off and come on, bro. You're doing too much. Like, look about and Chris said, I mean, not Chris, but Tony, man. Like, you making everything about yourself. Shout out to another week in the books, man. It's not always about you.
What the people want to see from you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man. That means Rich and Spike on our last episode, they're gonna throw the blazers on. Y'all gonna eat your words, huh?
You know what? Yeah,
Made
I
in
got
America.
you. I got you. Why not? I got you.
We're gonna go all black, everybody. All black.
I love when people in real time. Well, fucking do it now then. Do it. I bet. Hold me to the fire.
Yeah,
I got you.
On, yeah, you too, Spike. Don't think you off the hook, nigga.
I'll try. I'll try.
You're literally on the other side of the computer. This is a very easy ask. Please, y'all. Come on. I'm not asking much.
I'll try.
I'll try. This guy. He can wear a hat any episode, but this nigga can't throw a blazer on the other side of a computer screen with shorts.
I'll try.
Look at him. See, when I get on other weekly books, I'm about to come with some heat, nigga. I'm about to come with that.
I can't wait.
Soprano strap.
I want to hear it.
All right, now
I'm ready for it.
Fair enough. Now, but we get Bobby shoots Tretch, and he's supposed to shoot him in the fleshy part of the thigh.
Technically,
that is.
It ain't technically.
The ass is the fleshy part of the thigh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some fleshy part of the thigh tonight.
More moments. Can't help himself.
All right, it was terrible. That was a terrible setup.
Just when you thought we were headed through.
And I was getting my David Chase.
It wasn't no Melfi leg comments, anything. But boom.
I mean, you need something for this episode. I'm sorry.
We in the last 10 minutes of the episode.
All right, man. Let me.
This nigga here. We had the Mo moment.
Oh, yeah, I had shout out to Joe. As we finish out, but like I said, Bobby shoots Tretch. Carmella
my fault. I just had to say I love the Bobby in the hood walk away, like just a little subtle. Yeah, I got him. That nigga really is marksman. Shot at shit.
Yeah, no, perfect.
And I love his reaction. Like them niggas, like hey, I ain't gonna hold you. If I was in that car and I was hungry and I saw that food flying up, I'd be sorry. Like I'll check on my nigga. Like, all right, my bad, but
yeah, bro. I was looking forward to that double cheeseburger.
Yeah, man. I gotta go back in here. I'm slick before before the ambulance come. I'm gonna go back in here and order me another one.
They might be more surprised than the nigga that Eugene killed. He's like, hey man, you eat here too? Like, it's like, nah, nigga, this it.
Hey, that shit was silly.
That was. We were rolling about that too. Like, he was so excited about the meal.
The wings slap here, don't they?
Boy. Carmella tells Tony about Vito and Paul's package possibly being light. And Tony really wasn't tripping about it. He's getting out soon. I'm just gonna put them all these scenes together and we can react. I guess the lady comes
The
back in
mom.
again. But
Oh yeah, she comes in, but that's him just finding out about this dude next door, Schwinn.
It was Schwinn. Okay, yeah. Mrs. Barone visits Tony again, and she pleads on her son, for her son's life. And Paulie's broken up about it. Bobby pulls up with an envelope. The family gets outside as Tony is leaving the hospital, and they're back home. And lastly, Paulie whips on Jason for an additional $2,000 a month for his mom. So that's about
and
six
Tony
scenes.
letting dude slide.
Oh, and on the way out to the he
paramedic
let dude slide.
Chris was sorry.
Yeah. So what do y'all want to react to? Again, Miss Barone pulls up on behalf of her son because she didn't let him know nothing. Obviously, it's just tying it back to Paulie's identity thing. And
no sympathy for her. First of all, like no,
for
like
not telling her
bitch.
son.
He should have knew about all this shit before it got to this point.
Did he take initiative, or did she tell him? Hey,
it don't even matter. It don't even matter.
It really does matter though, because if he's taking initiative, like I'm trying to look out for my mom, then he ain't really communicating with her. I'm just trying to get this settled because I want to make sure my mama taken care of. If she telling him, son, go out there and get that money, then she should have told that nigga then and there, like, hey, listen, your dad was involved with some difficult people, so just know what it is.
I think she was preoccupied and didn't know he was in this deep. Like I said earlier, I think she would have advised him to listen to Tony. Mm-hmm. She was really knowing what was going on. She probably didn't, I told you, she probably didn't know Jason was doing all that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
That's why she's so frantic about it. I don't think she would have been as frantic if it was part of her plan. But it was like, oh shit! It's almost like anytime somebody or love gets into a situation, like it's already too late. I can't help you now because it's already happened. All I can do is beg and plead that you, keep my boy safe.
Yeah,
because if she knew about it, then I'd be exactly on the same shit. Like, man, get the fuck out of my face. You advised him to do this dumb shit. I should knock you off too.
Give it the Angie bumping Sarah treatment. Put a bat on the car.
And I love Tony playing dumb. Like, everybody good. Nobody gonna get hurt.
He's like, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Hey, friend.
And she ain't going for it either. Like, nope. Please. Like, I know. Well, if you know this, if you knew this, then that nigga should have known.
Yeah.
He should have known it too.
Yeah, she know how I go. You know how sticky you get. Anything I want to react with? Bobby pulls up with the envelope.
Man, like I said,
I like
Tony
it.
Tony said you gotta earn your keep. Nigga said bet.
Got to it.
I like it.
I like it too. Tony sees Schwinn on his way out. I like that. I like that. These are just these little moments of heart from Tony. I mean, we're not gonna get a ton of that this season, but and so it's like him seeing Schwinn being operated on, or unconscious, and then also letting the ambulance guy off. The family outside every day is a gift. How y'all feel about that from Tony? I mean, we obviously know where it goes.
This is something I'm about to say. This is something I think we'll discuss as the season goes along, because how quickly you can lose sight of that. And I think that's like real life too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody done had the moments, they fucked up, or Lord, I'll never drink again if you make me cool, or you want some dumb shit, man. If I make it home, I ain't never doing this dumb. And the next day you're doing that same dumb shit. Like, so I like the humanity of it, but we know what's going on.
That was just a real time feeling.
Yeah, real time. He really felt that way, and then you snap out of it, and like, life ain't gonna allow me to feel like this. Like, there's gonna be some shit where I'm gonna be a human.
True.
Yep. The real time stuff, I agree with Rich on it. Like, everybody has went through those scenarios, and then when you get Tony looking at that, and you say, "Oh, what does this mean for the character we looking at for the rest of the season?" We're gonna see. I love how they set that up.
Yeah, me too. Then they finally get back home. There's a moment where Tony calls her Blondie, which I thought was just dope. Tony accepts the deal that Johnny gave him. He says ain't enough garbage for everybody. Tony goes outside, which is an interesting theme that occurs throughout this whole season. How it transitions over to Paulie whipping up Jason and saying, "Hey, you gonna give me $2,000 a month?" Was that for his mom?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I saw the love that your mom gave me. Like I saw her beg for your take me. I'll sacrifice myself before you do something to my son. You have a son. Please don't hurt him. And him just like going through
Facts.
feeling abandoned. Like he had that line that said even rats don't abandon their children.
Mm-hmm.
Like not thinking that and the thing is, Paulie's experienced that. It's just not from the person that because it's not his biological mother, he feels slighted. But you still got that same type of love, man. There's no way that his mom, not his aunt, whatever, there's no way she wouldn't have done the same shit for Paulie. Like Tony said, how many times she done bailed you out the can, bro? She ain't about to let you get locked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of mamas that be like, nigga, if that's the life you want to live, fuck it. Now you in there.
Right.
I'm not coming.
That's on you. That's on you. Don't call me.
Oh yeah, you see that a lot in a black culture.
Yeah. So yeah, and he's like, damn, fuck you, Jason.
Right, nigga, eat that.
Pull that pistol out on him, nigga. I put this shit out, nigga. Nigga, I'll put the shit up your ass and start spraying until the bullets come out your eyelids.
Boy, he was going crazy on it.
Yeah, man, he meant that.
Yeah, and that's
$4,000 a month too. $4,000.
$4,000. So yeah, so that is definitely that's enough to cover Green Grove. But yeah, and that's our episode. It just transitions back to Tony still looking at the nature and everything. And that's our episode.
I'm sorry, Mo. I don't think he's doing that for his mom to keep her there. He's doing that like somebody owe me for all this money I've been paying for her. I've been paying $4,000 a month at Green Grove. So somebody owes me. I'm getting a refund.
She's still coming out of there.
Yeah, he's like we see. Obviously, we know how the storyline goes. But Paulie ain't let that shit go. Like, nah, fuck you, nigga. I paid $4,000 a month. Like, nigga, I ain't got no compensation. No, you gonna pay me my $4,000 back, mama's boy.
Good call.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Man, that was fire right there. Good flip.
Yeah, I need a refund on this. All that. I need all my bread back.
Yeah. You right.
I feel betrayed.
Yeah. Nah, you right. Somebody got to pay for that. I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah, I'm leaving here with something.
Man, but that's our episode, man. Thank y'all for tuning in truly for our episode season 6A, episode 4, the fleshy part of the thigh. But before we get out of here, we like to leave with rankings. So without further ado, Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode? Is it just another envelope, a good earner, or made episode?
Just another envelope for me.
Okay. Any reason why it's not a good earner? Finally getting away from dreams and all that?
Yeah. Finally getting away from dreams. You're right about that. But it skipped around to a lot of different viewpoints that I didn't need to see as a viewer. Like, I'm cool with all of the stuff. Like, let's move the story forward. I know, being someone who's watched this a million times over, that they're going to get to it, but this episode didn't make it seem like they were going to get to it.
Yeah, fair enough. Rich.
This is a good earner to me.
Good earner?
Yeah, it's a good earner, man. Mainly not because of the quality, especially when we break it down. We talk about the hip hop aspect of it, and then we talked about the evangelist and the heavy handedness of it. Episode quality wise, Sopranos is better than this, but it is a very easy episode to watch when it comes to if I'm just thinking about certain moments. So that's why it gets a good earner, but it's at the low end of good earners. So it's not it's definitely a y'all better than this.
Yeah,
y'all better than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I was thinking it was gonna be a good earner, but going through it, it's just another envelope for me.
Makes you say that.
Similar to what you said. Like, I think that they jumped around a little bit, a little heavy-handedness, a little observational fun, but nothing to me really felt like it moved. This just felt like this is the conclusion of David Chase's, because I think when they presented them with a contract to say, hey, this last season you can go wherever you want to go, how many ever episodes, you can write what you want. I think David Chase utilized to say, okay, I want to make observations on, Buddhism or, scientific thinking or Christianity or Catholicism. I'm going to do that. And now this is like wrapping it up in 4 episodes. So it kind of dragged on to give us these different theories, concepts, thoughts, and beliefs, which is cool. But it's like, this episode was entertaining, but it wasn't. It maybe it's a high, just another envelope, or like Rich said, a low good earner, but it's somewhere in there.
It does something that a lot of every television series has an episode like that, where you have some very distinctive classic moments. Bobby finding out his mom ain't his mom, Bobby, fleshy part of the thigh, the episode thing. You remember those moments, but when you watch the whole episode as a whole, because you used to pulling them up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, some of these scenes. Right. So when you watch them as an old episode, you're like, damn, I thought the episode was a little bit better than that, or I don't remember all this. Yeah. So it's one of those classic things where the moments they live in Sopranos lore. However, the episode that they're delivered in aren't that great.
Right. And a little cartoony.
Yeah. Now next week, Made. I'm telling you right now, Made.
I gotta What's next week's episode?
Mr. and Mrs. John Sacramento Request.
I'm ready for that.
Ready for that.
Cool. We back in the world. Who gets the good earner chain from you, Spike?
The good earner chain for me this week goes to Phil. Phil was playing. He was diplomatic in everything that he did. He went to talk to Tony. He went to talk to John, and he got all the points across. Not trying to be like persuading anybody to do anything any sort of way. I think the field did the best job this week.
That's great. I like them. I like that one a lot.
I think it's only really 3 people. Who you got, Rich?
Bobby Bacala.
Okay, that's the 2. That's
hurt. Like the brother-in-law shit ain't gonna work for too long. I'm a decent guy. Heard. Say less. Go out here and make some shit happen. Be creative about it. See an opportunity. Be a gangster. Be a hustler, and give boss the envelope. Like, nigga, I'm on the come up. I heard you. You got some complaints. I'm gonna fix that for you. I'm gonna change your mindset about me. I do more than wear conductor hats and play with choo-choo trains.
Play with toy trains. Good point.
Yeah. Gotta give it to Bobby.
We try not to do this, but the other third, obviously, is Tony Soprano. Gotta give it to him. He handled everything as a boss. He's making boss decisions. One time in the hospital uniform, he's counseling in a hospital gown with Paulie. He's going off to them and throwing up in the hospital gown. He even snapping on the billing lady. Get out of my room, you sick cunt! In a hospital gown. This nigga been making things shake and move in the hospital gown. Like that's a W if I ever seen it, bro.
You know who my runner-up would have been?
What?
The paramedic. Like you have no idea what kind of bullet you dodged. I'm thinking about JT, the writer.
Oh man.
I'm thinking about JT, the writer. I'm thinking about Davey. Like you don't know what it's like to get wrapped up with these folks, man. Right, like the fact that you got away from that life.
Yeah.
Like you good.
I know he had to.
That's a really good point.
That's a good point.
Like you have no idea what kind of bullet you dodged. Boy. It's like remember the episode when old dude was about to cap Ralphie and they called it off? Like, bro, you had no idea how close you were to dying, nigga. Yeah, that's got the same type of thing.
You're right.
Fact.
Yeah, he kept on finessing that. Like Salvitro. Spike, who gets the Broken Balls Award?
The Broken Balls Award for this episode goes to Paulie. Yeah, like it's Paulie, bro. I get it. I understand the things you were going to, but like, man, that's how you handle it. Yeah. How you handle this it speaks a lot to you.
Yeah, fair enough. Who gets the Broken Balls Award from you, Rich?
Spike is right. That's a clear,
clear
runaway answer. Like in the spirit of being different, I'm gonna say the hip hop community and Tretch. Like it's a tie between those two.
That's a good one.
The hip hop community as a whole in real life and in the show, Tretch, because you getting little nigga in the room. You got to hold the side. You on satellite duty. Like you ain't got your nigga. Hey, what do you say? Like you was Chubb's little blunt roller. Like nigga, what? You a little nigga.
Yeah, for real.
Like for real. And I'm paying to get shot in the ass. That's how desperate I am in life. That's how down bad it is. You know what you could do? You know what else you could do with that 7 G's?
Facts.
Put that in marketing or something, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. Like, that's just insane. That's got bad. He had a terrible episode.
Yeah.
And he probably still ain't never released a hit.
It's clear as day. Jason Bro.
Yeah, him too. Yeah, that's Jason a very Bro, obvious one.
Easily, like, man, you trying to look out for your pops and he's gone. It's Jason Bro. Favorite quote, Spike. You got a favorite quote this episode?
Come back to me. I don't think
Rich.
Excuse me, you're a friend of Tony's, right? How's he doing? a lot better than those fucking nuns you got up there. Gotta be.
That's a good one, Houston.
It'll either be that or that nigga shouting at church, nigga. Keep it steady, nigga.
Hold it up, nigga.
Yeah, man.
Lift it up, nigga.
Yeah, some of that, all that shit. Yeah. Yeah, probably saying that, the deadpan delivery, that's got to be it for me.
Going back to me, I would say he shot me in my ass. that would be mine. That would be
shout out to Alonzo and
Trish, man. He shot me in my ass,
man. Let me see. He shot. Get this right real quick. And mine's would be.
It hurts. I know, baby boy. I know, baby boy.
I know, baby boy is crazy.
Hey, that's thug sympathy.
That's crazy.
That's thug sympathy.
Bro, they did
thug sympathy.
But he said, "Hey, hold on, tell about nah." That's my quote. I know, baby boy. But look at it but look on the bright side. Your street cred go up. And remember, we had a problem with that. Consider you had a job all those years. You had a job all those years. It's crazy.
Man,
that's crazy.
You ain't got to change it. You ain't got to change it, Mo.
But that's a good one though.
Yeah, man. That's
Jesus, that's good, Rich.
Yeah, it is really good. Like, I know, baby boy. For me, it's when Tony was talking to Bobby, he said, "Every man is judged on his own merit." Nigga, that was a hard bar right there, nigga.
It was.
You riding that brother-in-law wave real strong, bro. You judged on your merit now. Like, we passed that.
Yeah.
So let me throw that in here real quick, and then we'll get our favorite moments, and we'll be out of here. Spike, what's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment of this episode was when Paulie put up on dude and threw his boat in the river and was like, "Fuck it, nigga. You got to pay me however much I tell you got to pay me. Don't tell Tony. I don't care nothing about your moms. This is what it is." I think that was a perfect representation of what somebody like Paulie is in this world.
Got you. Turn into a racket. Rich, what's your favorite moment of the episode?
That's a great question. I want to go with the whole Bobby Tretch situation, but I'm really going to go with Phil coming to see Tony and Tony deciding to go downstairs. Because as a viewer who's been trapped, we're still in the hospital 4 September. Remember, this is a whole month into this season. If you're watching it in real time,
right,
and you still in the hospital, like, damn, what the fuck? This is the final season. What y'all doing to me? So to have this confirmation that we at the end of this, like Tony's up and moving, like he's not bedridden, like we know we're getting close to, and they brought us out of this world with a bang, as I mentioned with next week's episode. So I think just knowing that Tony is upright and he's still a boss, even going as far as to like get the cigar. I'm only gonna take 2 puffs, but I want to show no weakness. Yeah. Like, I just think that was an important part for the viewers and for the show. That all right, man, we coming back to it.
Lastly, my favorite moment is Tony and the family coming out of the hospital and having that every day is a gift moment. You know, I know I love the lighthearted part of this show as a family man, and just that moment, just kind of looking at the clock, looking, people watching, that whole vibe is just like, yeah, it's a gift, which it is, because it's like he really could have died. So it's like I just enjoy that moment. It's not gonna last long, but in that moment, that's where he was, and I can enjoy that insight in where he was. So that is our episode, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all want to reach out to us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. Rate, review, subscribe on Spotify, Apple, and all your podcast sites. Those really do help draw eyes over here, as well as YouTube. If y'all want to see us visually every week, we put out a visual version of this too. If y'all are cleaning up, or y'all want to just throw it on your television or your phone on your lunch break, we are on YouTube as well. So y'all can reach out there. Also, if y'all want to follow us on Instagram, every here and there we'll do a meme fix, but y'all can DM us. Good Earner Pod _Sopranos. So we are very reachable if you guys want to get in contact with us and get your comments read on air and spoke to. We definitely do that. But we thank y'all for tuning in. Truly, it's been a great episode. Until next time, remember, don't forget about it.